Nepal's local government's intensified voter education drive nationwide. Election Commission deploys volunteers in every ward ahead of March 5 polls. Nepal's Prime Minister Karki reviews security preparedness for election, directs authorities to safeguard people's votes. Peak tourist season sees unusually low hotel occupancy in Nepal's Sauraha. Bookings fall below 50% amid election-related travel slowdown. North Korea unveils new nuclear-capable rocket launchers, where Workers' Party Congress set policy goals in reviving economy. UN Chief Guterres urges less hype, less fear over artificial intelligence. New expert panel established to ensure human control. And J Trophy, two-day national cricket kicks off in Kathmandu. APF and Tribhuvan Army Club take slender lead on day one. Good evening, I am April Singh Lama. Welcome to NTV World Primetime News. We're coming to you live from Kathmandu at 1900 hours Nepal time. Elsewhere, it's 1:15 p.m. in London, 10:15 p.m. in Tokyo, and just after midnight in Sydney. Now the news in details. Nepal's local governments have intensified facilitation and coordination efforts for voter education and related programs in preparation for the upcoming House of Representatives election. The Election Commission of Nepal has deployed one voter education volunteer in each of the 6,743 wards across 753 local levels nationwide till March 1st. The deployed volunteers have been reaching out to communities and households of voters, informing them about the importance of the election and the voting process through sample ballot papers. Contact persons have already been entrusted responsibility for supervision at the local level. Although some local government structures were set on fire during the Gen Z movement, causing inconvenience in the use of buildings and infrastructure, local governments are still actively providing necessary support for the election. The Election Commission has also begun producing and publishing or broadcasting various voter education materials through mass media outlets. Nepal's Prime Minister Sushila Karki has ordered security and election authorities to ensure that Nepal's House of Representatives election on March 5 is conducted in a free and fair environment, underscoring the government's commitment to democratic standards. The directive came during a security briefing at the Nepali Army's Indrabox Battalion in mountainous district of Mustang, following the Prime Minister's visit to the Muktinath Temple. On the occasion, Mustang's Chief District Officer, Ajita Sharma, briefed the Prime Minister on the overall security situation of the district and the security plans prepared specifically for the upcoming election. Similarly, Chief Election Officer of the district, Bidyaraj Paudel, updated the Prime Minister on the progress made so far in preparations for the March 5's election polls. Earlier, addressing the 21st convocation ceremony of the Pokhara University, Prime Minister Sushila Karki said that education should not be confined to formal certificates alone, emphasizing its practical application. Prime Minister Karki, also the Chancellor of the university, stressed that the knowledge and curriculum that fail to connect with economic prosperity and human welfare pose risk of becoming irrelevant.
युवा नै अबको राजनेता, प्रशासक, नीति निर्माता र समाजका रूपान्तरणका अभियन्ता हुन्। त्यसैले तपाईहरुले कस्तो भविष्यको परिकल्पना गर्नुभएको छ, त्यसको जग आजैबाट मजबुत बनाउनु पर्नेछ।
A total of 6,622 students were conferred degrees in the convocation ceremony today. In other news, Nepal's National Assembly Chair Narayan Prasad Dahal inspected the under-construction Federal Parliament building at Singadarwa today. In course of the inspection, he responded that the recent progress in the work has been encouraging as the upcoming session of the Federal Parliament is supposed to be held from this building.
यहाँ हल्कै समस्या पहिलो टर्कार भएर अलि हलहल भनेर सदन चलाउनुको लागि त सम्पूर्ण अभिभावक चाहियो नि त त्यो तत्कालै दिनु देखिँदैन।
The works are underway with the commitment to hand over at least the House of Representatives section, the central lobby, and the canteen block by coming March 15. We'll take a short break here. We shall be back with more updates. Stay with us. You're watching Primetime News. Welcome back. Now, the implementation plan formulated by the Nepal's Election Commission with the agreement of political parties to make the elections economical and transparent has not been effectively carried out. The Commission has mandated candidates to open a bank account to conduct election-related campaigns by February 15. However, so far, only about 1/4 of the candidates have opened bank accounts. Our colleague Diksha Awasthi brings us the story.
The Election Commission says it is closely monitoring compliance of its directives to the political parties and candidates to carry out campaign financial transactions through bank accounts. Since the Commission's issued directives as per the Operation and Management Procedures 2082, only out of 75 political parties and 3,406 direct candidates, only 7 political parties and 867 candidates have opened the required bank accounts. The Commission at the same time acknowledges that since this is the first time the rule has been enforced, specific punitive measures for non-compliance are still not clear.
This campaign financing or mandatory single bank account for the political parties and candidates is really a new venture for Election Commission. And that's why we are requesting all the political parties and their candidates as well as the independent candidates to open separate account for the election campaigns.
Still, the Commission has the right to make law to punish the offenders. The mandatory provision for political parties and candidates to open a separate bank account for election expenses has been introduced for the first time in Nepal's electoral history. According to the Commission, the measure is intended to discourage unregulated cash spending and ensure accountability in campaign financing. Officials say banks now have branches in all 753 local levels, making compliance feasible nationwide. The Commission has also directed candidates to spend up to Rs 3.3 million, depending on geographical factors, with monitoring of the funds disbursed from the candidates' accounts to ensure financial discipline. As the election is just 13 days away and campaigns are at its peak, the Commission expects more parties and candidates will come under the financial ambit.
The election fever is up as March 5 is just 13 days away. Political parties and candidates campaign to woo their voters are at their peak in every part of the country. Among all these hypes, the atmosphere on the ground is one of growing skepticism. In Dolakha, the Dalit communities who represent a wider group in the district feel there is no one in the race truly championing their cause. Given very less opportunity to prove themselves this time as well, they say with their ample representation at the decision-making level, their day-to-day struggles continue to be overlooked. Sarah Sapsanamarai and local correspondent Mandira Thapa brings more.
In political circles of Dolakha district, In political circles of Dolakha district, located in the high hills of Bagmati province, the issue of representation is always on the script, but the story on the ground remains unchanged. Despite a population of over 14,700, the Dalit community feels systematically sidelined. The common grievance, while the broader leadership climbs the ladder, the community is viewed simply as a vote bank.
जुन माथिल्लो तलामा पनि यहाँ अहिले आएर यहाँनेर हामी सबै थोक गर्छौं भन्छन् अब आखिरी उनीहरु भोट हालेर जितेर गइसकेपछि यहाँनेर गाउँ फर्किने काम पनि गर्दैनन् दलितहरुलाई हेर्ने काम पनि गर्दैनन् त्यो कारणले चाहिँ हामीलाई चाहिँ त्यो नेता के होस् कि दलितलाई भोट माग्न मात्रै आउने हैन भोट हालेर पछि जितिसकेपछि नि यहाँ आएर समस्याको समाधान गर्छु भन्ने खालका नेताहरुलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो विचारमा चाहिँ त्यसरी हेर्ने र चुन्ने भन्ने खालको विचार.
This treatment is not due to lack of presence though. There are Dalit families in all 73 wards of the district. Yet the path to parliamentary leadership remains largely out of reach. Community members point to a frustrating cycle, a lack of widespread awareness combined with parties silencing the most vocal figures with small favors or temporary rules. This leaves the wider community in the shadows, prioritized only when it is time to head to the elections. For this March 5 election, the District Election Office has registered 33 candidates, including 19 independents. However, only 2 of these candidates come from Dalit community. Local advocates are now pushing for a change in the narrative. They argue that the days of being easily swayed by election day promises must end. The message that they are sending to the parties is clear. They are no longer interested in just filling out ballots. They are ready to lead.
Moving on, Nepal police today arrested 3 Indian nationals from the arrival tunnel gate of the Tribhuvan University Airport with 11.27 kilograms of illegal cannabis. According to Avi Narayan Kafle, Deputy Inspector General, DIG, and spokesperson of Nepal Police, the arrestees have been identified as 43-year-old Samina Akhtar Beg Mirza, 24-year-old Muhammad Junaid, and Afsana Amir Hussain Sheikh. A joint team of police from the TIA Security Office and Narcotics Control Bureau apprehended Muhammad Junaid and Samina Akhtar Beg Mirza with approximately 3.87 kg of narcotic substance. Likewise, police nabbed Afsana in possession of 7.4 kg of the illegal substance. The arrested ones have been handed over to the Narcotics Control Bureau for further investigation and legal action. Hotels in Nepal's tourist city of Sauraha, which typically operate at near full capacity during this time of year, are facing a sharp decline in occupancy, with operators reporting significantly lower bookings compared to previous seasons. February, March and April marked the peak tourist season in Sauraha, the main gateway to Chitwan National Park. According to the Regional Hotel Association Chitwan, around 80% of hotel rooms were occupied during this period last year. This year, however, bookings have fallen to below 50%. The season is generally considered ideal for tourism, as grasslands inside the national park are cleared, allowing better visibility of wildlife. The weather during these months is also regarded as pleasant, being neither too hot nor too cold, making it attractive for both domestic and international visitors. However, hotel operators say the decline in foreign tourist arrivals has directly affected business. They attribute the slowdown partly to the upcoming House of Representatives election, which they say has discouraged both foreign and domestic travelers from making immediate travel plans. Despite the downturn, hoteliers remain optimistic that visitor numbers will rebound after the election. Sauraha has 148 hotels with the capacity to accommodate up to 7,200 guests at a time. We have updates from the international front on the other side, but before that, time to go for a short break. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has pledged to lift living standards as he opened a rare congress of the governing Workers' Party held once every 5 years that will see the leadership in Pyongyang set major policy goals in defense, diplomacy and the economy. Leader Kim Jong-un took center stage with a speech to start the Workers' Party Congress, a gathering that directs state efforts on everything from house building to war planning. South Korea's official Yonhap news agency said the gathering, which will last for several days, will be closely followed for any signs regarding North Korea's development of nuclear weapons or overtures towards the administrations in Seoul and Washington, which the North considers its chief foes. Meanwhile, North Korea has unveiled new nuclear-capable rocket launchers in a high-profile military display, signaling a potential escalation in its weapons program and heightening security concerns across East Asia. The unveiling took place during a parade in Pyongyang, attended by leader Kim Jong-un, who emphasized the country's commitment to advancing its strategic deterrent capabilities. U.S. President Donald Trump urges Iran to strike a meaningful deal as a huge American military buildup takes shape in the Middle East amid U.S. threats of action against its adversary. Trump tells the inaugural meeting of the Board of Peace his initiative to secure stability in Gaza.
As you know, Iran is a hot spot right now, and they're meeting, and they have a good relationship with the representatives of Iran, and, you know, good talks are being had. It's proven to be, over the years, not easy to make a meaningful deal with Iran. We have to make a meaningful deal, otherwise bad things happen. But we have to make a meaningful deal. But they have a great relationship with the representatives of Iran. They have a great relationship with the other one that they're really working on now.
Now, in other news, Poland's Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz convened a high-level security and defense meeting in Krakow, southern Poland, bringing together his counterparts from France, Italy, Germany and the United Kingdom. The gathering also included the European Union's top foreign policy official, Kaja Kallas, as well as NATO Deputy Secretary General Radmila Sekerinska, reflecting a coordinated effort between EU and NATO leaders to address pressing security challenges in Europe. During the meeting, the ministers and officials are expected to discuss key issues, including defense cooperation and the ongoing support for Ukraine amid the conflict with Russia. Poland's strategic location on NATO's eastern border has made it a critical hub for logistical coordination, troop deployments and security planning, underscoring the significance of the talks. Officials are also likely to explore long-term strategies to strengthen Europe's defense capabilities, enhance interoperability among allied forces and ensure rapid response capacity in case of emerging security threats. Now, Venezuela's National Assembly has unanimously approved a long-awaited amnesty law that could liberate hundreds of political prisoners jailed under the former Maduro administration. Signed by interim President Delcy Rodriguez following the U.S. raid that ousted Nicolas Maduro, the bill applies retroactively to 1999, including the coup against previous leader Hugo Chavez, the 2002 oil strike and the 2024 riots against Maduro's disputed re-election. While the NGO for Pinal reports that 450 individuals have been freed since the January 3rd transition, over 600 detainees remain behind bars, facing alleged mistreatment and health neglect. High-profile opposition figures like the Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado may remain excluded from the pardon due to Article 9, which bars those linked to armed actions by foreign states. Families of the prisoners have been holding vigils for weeks, hoping the law provides genuine relief rather than a selective pardon for government allies. UN Chief Antonio Guterres calls for less hype, less fear over artificial intelligence, as he says that a new expert panel aimed to make human control a technical reality. Guterres said the United Nations General Assembly had confirmed 40 members for the group called the Independent International Scientific Panel on Artificial Intelligence.
The message is simple: less hype, less fear, more facts and evidence. Guided.
Now to more international updates, but before that, time for a short break again. Thousands of Muslim worshippers gathered at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem to perform the first Friday prayers of Ramadan, marking the start of the holy month of fasting and reflection. Security was heightened across the old city as authorities managed large crowds amid ongoing tensions in the city over access to religious sites. The annual event draws worshippers from across the region, underscoring the significance of Al-Aqsa as one of Islam's holiest sites. Religious leaders called for peace and unity during the prayers, while local authorities urged attendees to follow security guidelines to prevent overcrowding and maintain order. Now, Chinese astronauts could be set to enjoy an upgraded diet in the future as the crew members of the Shenzhou 21 mission get ready to reap a bountiful harvest of freshly grown tomatoes from their very own in-orbit vegetable garden aboard the Tiangong space station amid the ongoing Spring Festival holiday, which sees millions of Chinese gather for family reunions and enjoy grand festive dinners to welcome the Chinese New Year back on Earth. The astronauts in space may soon be able to tuck into some tasty foods of their own as their prized tomatoes enter their ripe season. The cultivation device had been carried to the space station by the Tianzhou 9 cargo craft in July last year. So far, 10 batches of 7 plant species, including lettuce, cherry tomatoes and sweet potatoes, have been cultivated at the space station, providing astronauts with more fresh fruits and vegetables and the chance for a much more balanced nutrition intake during their 6-month-long mission. Now, a 6-month-old Japanese macaque abandoned by his mother has captured public attention at Ichikawa City Zoo near Tokyo as he clings to and drags a stuffed toy around his enclosure. The baby monkey, named Punch by the zookeepers, has become a focus of fascination both online and among visitors who come to observe his unusual behavior in person. Zookeepers say Punch has formed an attachment to the stuffed toy, which he carries everywhere, using it for comfort and companionship in the absence of his mother. Visitors to the zoo have been captivated by his interactions with the toy, often taking photos and sharing videos on social media, where Punch's story has gone viral, drawing comments from people both in Japan and abroad. According to staffs, Punch is thriving physically, but continues to rely on the toy for emotional support, highlighting the social and nurturing needs of young macaques. The zoo has said it will continue monitoring his development and is taking steps to ensure he receives adequate care, socialization, and interaction with other macaques as he grows. Time now for Sports Update. Nepal's Armed Police Force APF Club and Tribhuvan Army Club have taken lead in the 2 matches of the J Trophy 2-day cricket that kicked off today. In the match at Mulpani Cricket Ground, Bagmati Province is trailing by 31 runs in its second innings against APF that made 239 runs in the first inning. Winning the toss, APF opted to field first as Bagmati declared its first innings at 207 runs for the loss of 9 wickets after having played 54.5 overs. APF in its first inning made 239 runs, taking 32 runs first inning lead. With 4 overs of play left on the first day, Bagmati lost 1 wicket in 3.2 overs, meaning it will start second day trailing by 31 runs and 9 wickets in hand. In the other match at TU Cricket Ground, Nepal Police Club is trailing by 24 runs in its second innings against Trivon Army Club that declared the first inning at 234 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. Now, World Football's governing body, FIFA, and the Board of Peace have signed a partnership agreement to attract investment from global leaders and institutions for sustainable development in conflict-affected regions through football. The Board of Peace, established under United States President Donald Trump, held its first meeting focused on Gaza's reconstruction fund aimed at rebuilding the territory once Hamas disarms. The FIFA collaboration plan includes building 50 mini pitches near schools and residential areas in Gaza, 5 full-size pitches across multiple districts, a state-of-the-art FIFA academy, and a new 20,000-seat national stadium. Trump said FIFA will raise $75 million for football-related projects in Gaza. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nepal's local governments intensify voter education drive nationwide. Election Commission deploys volunteers in every ward ahead of March 5 polls. Nepal's Prime Minister Karki reviews security preparedness for election, directs authorities to safeguard people's votes. Peak tourist season sees unusually low hotel occupancy in Nepal's Sauraha. Bookings fall below 50% amid election-related travel shutdown. North Korea unveils a new nuclear-capable rocket launches. A Rare Workers' Party Congress sets policy goals in reviving economy. UN Chief Guterres urges less hype, less fear over artificial intelligence. New expert panel established to ensure human control. And J Trophy 2-day national cricket kicks off at Kathmandu. APF and Trivon Army Club takes London lead on day 1. That is all for the moment here on Primetime News. Our next bulletin will be at 2200 hours Nepal time. Do join us through our social media and visit us at our official website www.nepaltelevision.com. I'm April Singh Lama. Thank you for staying with us. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Welcome to the studios of NTV World in Kathmandu. Public Service Broadcasting, PSB Nepal's new initiative to make Nepal more visible and audible to the global audience. Welcome on board.
This is NTV World.
Facts that speak, insights that matter.
Telling the stories of a changing planet. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Exploring the heartbeat of Nepali creativity. This is NTV World.
The power of story shaped by technology. NTV World.
Unearthing Nepal's hidden heritage. Discovering the timeless Nepal.
Telling stories that endure across centuries. Where culture breathes, stories bloom.
When the world moves, we make a sense of it.
NTV World, taste of Nepal. Every recipe, every flavor tells the story.
Journalism in the digital age. Fast, focused, verified.
Stories hold power. Stories reflecting life. Stories of the hinterlands.
Reporting for NTV World.
This is NTV World. Welcome to News Hour.
This is NTV World. Welcome to Primetime News.
One story at a time.
Crossing borders, connecting voices, where Nepal meets the world in dialogue. This is NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Voices that connect Nepal to the world, bringing perspective, region and relevance to every story. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Stand by. Mic is on.
3, 2, 1, cue.
We are NTV World.
Are you interested to know about Nepal and its major tourist destinations? Do you want to see some of the best destinations in Nepal? Are you the one who enjoys nature, culture and adventure? If yes is the answer, then come with us. We are introducing you to the tourism heaven of Nepal, the Gandaki province, and the exotic destinations. Gandaki province, the tourism capital of Nepal. Gandaki province is very rich with natural diversity and tourism potential. Pokhara is undoubtedly #1 destination for tourists in Nepal. The valley, blessed with natural beauty, attracts domestic and foreign tourists alike. You must have already visited Pokhara. If you haven't or planning another trip, then these are some of the must-go places in Pokhara. The first attraction in Pokhara is the Feva Lake. Boating in Feva Lake is a ritual for every tourist visiting this paradise. The Tal Barahi temple at the center of the lake adds to the beauty of the place. A round-trip boat ride in Feva Lake to and from the temple is a feature of both the lake as well as the temple. Separate boat ride, watching the reflection of Mount Machapuchre on the lake and fishing spice up the Feva experience. The lakeside along the banks of the Pheva Lake is a popular tourist hub. Many tourists in Pokhara choose Devi's Fall as their second destination in Pokhara. The water from Pheva Lake exits towards Seti River through the Gupteshwar cave from this Devi's Fall. The mighty water stream rushing deep down into the gorge, covered by water vapor, is a magical sight. Pokhara is known as the city of lakes and caves. Many of the lakes and caves have religious importance. This is Gupteshwar cave at Chorepatan area. Inside the cave, the idol of Lord Shiva is a well-known pilgrimage. Further inside the cave, one can see the Devi's Fall. Mahendra Cave is another famous place in Pokhara, and nearby is another well-known Chamere cave. Both the caves can be visited together. Two other well-known tourist destinations in Pokhara are Begnas and Rupa lakes. Fresh fish of Begnas Lake is a sought-after delicacy. Rupa Lake is just round the corner beyond a small hill towards the eastern edge of Begnas Lake. Away from the hustle and bustle of the town, Begnas and Rupa Lakes cannot be taken out of a tourist's itinerary. This is the famous White Monastery on top of the hill above Pheva Lake. This is also a popular destination for domestic as well as foreign tourists. The top-angle bird's-eye view of Pokhara city from the monastery is a sight to behold. The placid Pheva Lake, the tall mountain range, and the birds like paragliding pilots on the background of Sarankot Hill are mesmerizing. The Bindabasini temple in Pokhara is a famous shrine in Nepal. The best route to visit the temple is on the way to Sarankot. Devotees throng the Bindabasini temple, which is atop a small hill with panoramic view of Pokhara city. The Bindabasini temple is famous among the Hindus across the country. Sarankot is a hill station on top of a hill on the northwestern side of Pokhara. A must-go place to see the majestic Mount Machapuchre and Mount Dhaulagiri in the Annapurna range in front of the eyes, and also the Pokhara and Leknath cities on the other side. Sarankot is synonymous to paragliding in Nepal. Taking off from the Sarankot hill, one can enjoy the panoramic mountain range in addition to the bird's eye view of Pokhara city. Ultralight and zip flyer offer a thrill to adventure seekers in Pokhara and are becoming major interests for tourists. Other places, including Swarak in Sangja, have the potential to be world's best place for paragliding. First time in Nepal, paragliding Accuracy World Cup was held at this place, situated at Mahapur of Virkot municipality of the district. The place drew global attention after the event. Pokhara, famous tourism destination of the country. Majority of locals engaged in tourism industry. The city of lakes and caves, hub of aviation sports. Some major destinations: Lakeside, Pheva Lake and Tal Barahi Temple, Begnas and Rupa Lakes. Mahendra Gufa. Annapurna Circuit Trek features in world's 10 best destinations and adventures. The trekking circuit is the choice of many trekkers as it offers both adventure along with mesmerizing view of mountain ranges. Arguably the best trekking circuit in the world, travelers get up close with dozens of mountains including the Annapurna, Dhaulagiri, Nilgiri. Annapurna Circuit ideally is a 14-day trek. The circuit passes through Lamjung, Manang, Mustang and Myagdi district, including Thorangla Pass as the highest point. Places including Thampus, Ghandruk and Poon Hill are part of this trekking circuit. The revered Muktinath shrine is also part of the circuit. Only foreigners were seen in this circuit few years back, but now domestic tourists are also flocking the area. If you are looking for a lifetime trekking experience, then pack your bags for Annapurna trekking circuit. Mardi Base Camp Trek, also part of the Annapurna circuit, is another alternative route for trekkers who can't afford time. Trekkers can be up close with mountains including the Annapurna range, Dhaulagiri, Machapuchre and Manasalu in this circuit. This 7-day circuit is attracting many trekkers for obvious reasons. Another famous trekking route in Gandaki province is Manasalu circuit. This circuit, not as popular as Annapurna, is seen as the alternative, as increasing road access in the Annapurna circuit is spoiling its charm. Not just for adventure and natural beauty, Gandaki province is also popular for religious tourism. Dozens of temples in this province draw devotees in numbers. Hundreds of thousands of religious tourists visit this province every year. These sites are important for domestic tourism. Muktinath is an important religious site for Hindus as well as Buddhists. The Muktinath temple is situated 3,710 meters above the sea level in the mountainous district of Mustang. For Hindus, this area is Mukti Kshetra and Buddhists call it Chuming Gyatsa in Tibetan language. The religious site is famous for Saligram, revered as the manifestation of Lord Vishnu. As per Hindu belief, one who reaches this area will attain salvation. The Manakamana temple at Gorkha district is another very famous shrine for deity Manakamana. Literally means the deity who fulfills one's wishes. Situated some 1300 meters above the sea level, we can see Mahavarat Hill Range and Chimkeswari Peak towards the south, and Mount Annapurna and Mount Manasalu, among others, towards the north. Beautiful sunrise and sunset is visible from the temple premises. Famously known as the Haridwar of Nepal, Triveni Dham is a historical and archaeological religious site for Hindus. The confluence of Narayani, Tamasa and Sonbhadra rivers is called Triveni Dham. 2 annual fairs draw thousands of devotees from home and abroad, mainly India, in this area. Hindus believe offering prayers and holy water from the river relieves one of sins. The mountainous district of Mustang features in world's top 10 tourist destinations. The natural splendor of Mustang, known as the land beyond the Himalayas, is simply striking. Domestic tourists, along with tourists from SAARC countries and others, arrive here every year. Jomsom Bazar, Kagbeni and Lomangthang are some of the places we can see in Mustang. Manang is known for Tilichu, the lake at the highest altitude in the world. Foreign tourists who arrive here are spellbound by the tall peaks, the suspension bridge at the 5th highest place in the world, and of course, the highest in South Asia, apple farms, and the warmth of the Manangi people. Dhorpatan Hunting Reserve is the only hunting reserve in Nepal. Established in 1987, it covers an area of 1325 square kilometers in the Dhaulagiri of western Nepal, spreading across Rukum, Magdi and Baglung districts. For those interested in gaming or hunting, this is the only destination. This area is the entry point of the Gorilla Trail, a day-long bus ride from Kathmandu to Burtibang or Baglung, and a day's walk from there to Dhorpatan. Gandaki province is also the capital of homestay. The most famous and popular homestays are in this province. Nepal's first ever homestay, Sirubari homestay, is also in this province. Tourists flock this homestay in Sanja to experience the local culture and lifestyle. Homestay is a new concept for foreign tourists and a new alternative for domestic travelers. The Ghalegaon in Lamjung is also famous for its homestay. Ghalegaon is an ancient, almost 700 years old civilization and also called the model village of SAARC. The main source of income for Galegaon dwellers is tourism. Lamjung district has the most number of homestays in Gandaki province. Kaulepani, Purankot and Bhujung homestays are some of the other well-known destinations in Lamjung. Homestays are popular because they not only provide accommodation and food at an affordable cost, but also give an opportunity to experience the rural life and culture. The Gorkha Palace is a historic monument in Gorkha district. This is where then King Prithvinarayan Saha, who conquered small kingdoms and unified into larger Nepal, was born. Not a faraway destination from Kathmandu, and also a subject of research and study for many. Some of the other attractions: Gorkha Palace Museum, Gorakhali Temple, Cave, Liglikot, Panoramic Mountain View, Barpak, the 2015 earthquake epicenter. Gandaki province is leading in tourism industry and an example how rural tourism can be a source of income. Bandipur is one such place where domestic as well as foreign tourists are seen round the calendar. Panchase is another such beautiful place along the border of Kaski, Sangja and Parvat districts. Panchase is known for its biodiversity and a model for rural tourism. Tourists who want to experience rural life in Nepal choose this place. Gandaki province offers something for tourists of all interests. From a day to a month, you can spend your trip as per your interest in destinations of your choice. Availability of air service and road connection to almost all destinations makes it much easier for travelers to choose this province before others. Adequate hotels and homestays, restaurants and eateries are ready to cater to travelers of varying need and interest.
Music, dance, food, art and devotion are the lifeblood of Newar culture, an ancient civilization rooted in the Kathmandu Valley of Nepal. With lively festivals nearly every fortnight, the Newars celebrate life through a rich tapestry of traditions known as Jatra.
Vaccination has played a critical role in reducing preventable diseases and saving millions of lives worldwide. Yet, globally, millions of children still miss out on routine immunization, leaving communities vulnerable to outbreaks. South Asia has recently shown remarkable progress, and Nepal stands out as a country that has not only recovered from pandemic disruptions but achieved global vaccine targets ahead of schedule. On today's episode of Insight, we are joined by Dr. Abhiyan Gautam, who is the Chief of Child Health and Immunization Service Section, to discuss global immunization trends, Nepal's public health achievements, and what can countries do to achieve universal vaccination. Dr. Gautam, welcome to NTV World Insight.
Thank you.
To start with, what kind of vaccines are we using to immunize our children, and how do you prioritize or decide what kind of vaccines to give to children?
We have started with 4 antigen from 3 districts in the country back in 2034 BS, that is 1977, and gradually we have scaled it up to 77 districts, and now we are providing against 14 antigens, and we are providing 11 vaccines against vaccine preventable disease, and is totally free of cost, as we have included that in our constitution that basic health services are free of cost, and immunization is also a basic health services, and that is totally free of cost, and the vaccine is of quality because we have Immunization Act, and as per the Immunization Act we only use WHO pre-qualified vaccine, that is WHO accepted vaccine, and that vaccine that Nepal is currently introducing should be registered in Department of Drug Administration, that is National Regulatory Authority for Nepal, and that means the vaccine that Nepal is using through National Immunization Program is safe, efficacious, and of quality.
Mm-hmm. Are the vaccines used in lower and middle income nations different from others, or are the safety and protocol and standards are similar everywhere?
It might differ in other countries, but in Nepal, as I said, we have Act, and which has enabled us to introduce quality vaccines, and that is WHO pre-qualified. WHO has regulation system, their own regulation system, and the country has its own regulation system as well. Each country has its own regulation system. Our country does not accept other vaccines other than WHO pre-qualified. That means the quality, the vaccine that is being used in Nepal, that is being introduced in Nepal, is of good quality, but other country might lag those regulatory system in low and middle income country. So I can say about the other country, but the basic principle in other country are also the same. Most of the country in the SEER region, that is our neighboring countries, are also following the same system.
Mm-hmm. A recent WHO and UNICEF data shows that 89% of infants received at least one DTP vaccine in 2024. However, 14.3 million zero-dose children remain unvaccinated, and coverage still trails key global targets. Where do you see the challenges, and how do we cope with this?
There are some challenges in some pocket area around the globe. There are some religious minority, there are some hard-to-reach area and high-risk areas around the globe, and not only that, after COVID-19, many of the services were interrupted all around the globe because of lockdown and because of service interruptions. Maybe because of that, and there are some national disparities inside the country, and there are financial challenges in the country as well, and the question of sustainability has raised in other countries, and that has actually led to zero dose and dropout.
So when we talk about resources, how does Nepal government prioritize budget allocation for immunization campaigns?
Yeah, as I said, immunization is mandated by constitution, as it has written that it is basic health services are free of cost, and it is priority 1 program of Nepal, and Ministry of Health and Population has always prioritized vaccination as its first agenda. And that is why there is high level of political commitment, as well as there is high level of financial commitment in terms of Nepal. So I don't think there is challenge in introducing a vaccine, and also along with the high commitment, high political and financial commitment from Ministry of Health and Population, we also are a Gavi eligible country, that is Global Alliance of Vaccine and Immunization is the alliance who actually support low and middle income country to introduce new vaccine, and there are now 53 countries, such countries along with Nepal, and we are in preparatory transition phase. They actually categorize country based on gross national income, and Nepal is eligible according to our gross national income. So while introducing such vaccines, that is new and underutilized vaccine, Gavi support us financially, and not only financial, they also provide us with procuring vaccines and ancillary items as well. For example, cold chain equipments and other support. And they also support with the operational cost as well. And that is why Nepal has been able to conduct recent campaigns. For example, measles rubella, inactivated polio vaccination campaign, and most awaited HPV vaccination campaign all across the country.
What other alliances are we part of, and how is the collaboration benefiting the country?
Yeah, Gavi was supporting Nepal since 2001, and it's now we are about to celebrate Silver Jubilee as well. And along with that, WHO and UNICEF are our core partner, and recently new partner like WaterAid, Japaigo, GIZ has come up with different packages to support immunization program of Nepal.
There are skepticism about the quality and standards, especially for a country like Nepal. What do you say about it? How do we build trust, or is there something to be concerned at all about?
Yeah, we have to inform the public. We have to inform what vaccines we are providing and what's the quality of that vaccines. And we have been saying the same thing, that is, as per the Act, we always quote the things that this is WHO pre-qualified and it's of good quality, but people are reluctant because they think that whenever we receive vaccine, that is definitely it's going to be trial. We are going to be trial. They think in that way, but what we are saying from the program is, yeah, of course, the people has to do trial. The manufacturer has to do trial, and that trial has to be conducted in other country, not in Nepal. And once trial is completed, WHO has to go through all the processes, and after vigorous processes, after checking everything, WHO pre-qualified it, and pre-qualified vaccine are only utilized in Nepal. And we have been saying it time and again. And whenever there is campaign, big campaign, for example, HPV campaign last year, we did that, and there were a lot of rumor regarding the vaccine. The vaccine. The common rumor was the vaccine caused infertility, and the vaccine is on trial, And we said that the vaccine was already introduced in 145 countries, and we were the one who introduced a vaccine for the first time, and we were 146th country. And that means other countries have already utilized, they have experienced the quality, efficacy and safety of the vaccine. And Nepal has recently introduced the vaccines, and there was some question regarding the trust issue, and as you said, so we try to debunk the masses. We try to give correct messages, and all the stakeholders, including celebrities, sportsmen, they all jointly came up to convey the message that the vaccine that Nepal is providing is of good quality, and all the adolescents should receive that vaccine. The voice was, we got same voices from all the celebrities and all the politicians and stakeholders, not only the national, but also the international celebrities were with us during the campaign, and that is how we are doing every day.
So rest assured, the public can be confident that Nepal government takes vaccines quality seriously, and that they can, without any doubt, immunize their children.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is it true that South Asia has recently recorded one of the highest improvements in immunization coverage worldwide? And if it is, what factors has driven this regional success?
Yes, Southeast Asia, actually we are under SARE, Southeast Asian Regional Office, and there are 10 countries and who actually are, that's a group, that's a regional office who actually govern all the WHO office of the country. Nepal has also the same system, and they set a goal, they set a resolution for the country, and the resolution was to decrease zero dose, to decrease under-immunized children in the community. And we also put our views, and we actually aligned to we work jointly to reduce the zero dose under-immunized children. In terms of Nepal, we have a program called Full Immunization Declaration Initiative. That means all child should receive all the antigen that is provided by country, and that is also mandated by Act as well. All the beneficiaries, all the guardian, all the parents should ensure that child should receive all the eligible vaccine that government provide. That is as per the Act, and that is right actually. The program is not a program. The nationalization program is not a not only a program, but it's a right of the children. So that is mandated by Act, and we have been working for that. The Full Immunization Declaration is an initiative which actually start from household. Female community health volunteer, she goes to each and every household to ensure the eligible children are vaccinated or not. And after verification, after checking the vaccination card, she ensures that the child is fully immunized. If not, she refer the child to the health facility. And these activities are being conducted across the country, and starting from the household. Then if all the household of ward are found to be fully immunized, they celebrate it as a full immunization ward. Similarly, if all wards within a same municipality are fully immunized, then they celebrate it as a full immunization municipality, then district, then province, then nation. And this was the first time, in the last fiscal year, it was the first time where we declared Nepal as a fully immunization country, and it was the first time in history since we started this campaign, that is Full Immunization Initiative campaign, and it was started in 2012. Other country also, there are many initiatives. There are initiative called Big Catch Up program, where Gavi also support with the vaccines, support with the programs, activities, and WHO also support, UNICEF also support countries who actually are willing to provide vaccines to their beneficiaries. And Nepal had started immediately after COVID-19, and so we actually initiated multiple events. For example, we actually integrate our program, immunization program, with other public health intervention. For example, vitamin A initiative, vitamin A campaign. And whenever we get opportunity, in every opportunity, we integrated routinization program, the screening of routinization starters, and then we actually achieved the target. And other country has also initiated on the same manner, in the same pattern, and that is how Zero country has Southeast Asia has actually led in the immunization.
Nepal's female volunteer group was also awarded by World Health Organization. How significant is the award, and does it serve as a model for other countries as well?
Yeah, I think they are totally volunteer. The female community health volunteers are they are the pillar of our public health interventions. Whatever we develop policy at the central level, that should be implemented at the community level, and they are the pillar of their community. They represent, they are the linkage, they are the bridge between health, Ministry of Health, and community and the family. And whenever we develop a message, they convey our message to the beneficiary, and they have been working in our community since for more than 35 years now. And this was the first time where we gather all the evidences, and we gather the transformative change that they have made in the community, and we submitted our report to the Zero. There was a competition between the Zero countries, and we won the competition. And based on the evidences that they have decreased the mortality, morbidity, the Zero has nominated or appointed them as a champion of public health award.
May I ask how much the Nepal government has been investing in immunization programs, and what are the future plans?
Every year, as I said, we are Gavi supported country. Every year, Gavi contribute around 60% of the total budget, and Nepal has invested more than 2 orb every year.
2 billion.
2 billion, sorry, yeah. 2
that
billion.
is barring the 60% that Gavi covers.
That includes 60%, yeah.
Okay, so 60% of 2 billion rupees or dollars?
Rupees.
Rupees is covered by Gavi. The rest is by Nepal government. There are certain vaccines that people need to buy out of pocket. Do you think this makes vaccines an item of luxury rather than basic health necessity?
Whatever the vaccine that is provided by Nation program is totally free of cost. And we don't, even during COVID-19, though the vaccine was very costly, government of Nepal receive vaccine from donation, whatever the region, whatever the, when it is being delivered to the public need not pay any of the main money. It's totally free of cost, and it is of good quality, as I said before. And the vaccine that is available in the market is being transported or delivered from the private companies, and they charge some money for the vaccines, and the government supplied vaccines are totally free of cost. And as you said, the questions of equity always, so we are also raising the same point, and they has to bear some, multiple steps. They have to go through a custom clearance, and they have to procure from. Nepal is not a vaccine manufacturing country, and they have to, they have to receive the vaccine from abroad, maybe from European countries or maybe from American countries, or from our neighboring country, and they have to invest a lot to bring the vaccine in Nepal, and that is how it is costly in the private market. And we are providing, the government of Nepal is providing the vaccine of good quality. I can guarantee you that we are providing vaccines of good quality, more quality of the vaccine that is being delivered through the private hospitals or private company.
Do you think Nepal has the experience and resources to invest and innovate vaccine and produce vaccines of its own in future?
Now, yeah, in future, of course, we have the possibility, but so we have to have manufacturing company in Nepal, but we don't have such company as of now. And I have not seen any preparations from any of the company, not even private or not from the government side. And along with that, our National Regulatory Authority has to be a level 3, and now currently we are of level 1, that is WHO accredited level 1, and we have to increase our quality as well. We have to increase our capacity as well, and we don't have that capacity as of now. So in future, of course, we can see that there is high demand also, there is high need in Nepal, and we have to manufacture in the long run.
Could you briefly explain what WHO accreditation is?
WHO has to validate, WHO has to, there are multiple steps. There are multiple checklists of WHO to verify whether the government is capable to say the manufacturer is manufacturer is producing good vaccines or not. They have to focus on the safety of the vaccine. They have to focus on the quality of the vaccine and efficacy of the vaccine. And country has to be able to, rectify all the things, all the steps of vaccine manufacturing country. And that is how they label the regulatory authority as level 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 has the authority who has of best quality will get level 4, and now we are at level 1.
Level 1.
Yeah.
That's a long road ahead.
That's exactly. And the people in the regulatory authority are also trying to improve their quality as well.
We spoke about the achievements that South Asian region has made, but the region also faces still population density, migration, and hard to reach communities. How do you think countries can collaborate to close these gaps?
South Asian country can close immunization gap by working collaboratively by sharing data. And CERO actually, CERO is the one who is leading in the public health program in this globe, in this part of the country, and they have been calling the government stakeholders or government decision makers to share data, and also they are also collaborating for the cold chain improvements. And there is an initiative for cross-border meetings. We are sharing boarding with Nepal and India and China, and there are frequent meetings going on with the India now, and I think we have to increase that campaign as well. That is, cross-border campaigns should be increased, and we have to harmonize schedule. There are multiple vaccination schedules in Nepal and India, and those who are migrating, those who are working here in Nepal are traveling to India, and people from India are also coming here. For travelers, I think there should be a immunization schedule that is harmonizing the schedule between the countries, and we have to exchange best practices of the countries. Nepal has a good initiative of Immunization Act, and we are selling that. Actually, people are learning, other countries are also learning from Nepal that they have to develop Immunization Act, and they have actually started. And Bangladesh is the one who has actually started after learning from Nepal. And we have an initiative called Full Immunization Initiative, as I said, and they are also learning. People from all around the globe are actually learning, and Gavi has acknowledged that, WHO has actually acknowledged our Full Immunization Initiative. And similarly, there should be a mechanism to pool resources as well. And due to financial crisis all over the country, all over the globe now, people are questioning about the sustainability, and now there should be a mechanism to help each other. India is a vaccine manufacturing country. I think being a neighboring country should help Nepal in terms of vaccine as well. And there are other neighboring countries actually who procure or who manufacture the vaccine. And for the neighboring country, I think there should be some mechanism to provide vaccine in cheaper amount. And we have to engage communities. We have to work together to align together, and to ultimately we are working for the people, we are working for the community, and there should be some mechanism to reach hard to reach population, and to reach the migrant, to reach the refugee, and that is what government are doing in collaboration with WHO, in collaboration with the CERO as well.
From your experience and observations so far, what do you think the global community can do differently to meet the immunization targets of 2030?
Immunization 2030 is mostly focused on zero dose and under-immunized children. Their agenda is to reduce zero dose by 50% and under-immunized children by 50%. And they have to support in big catch-up campaign as well. They have to support with the vaccines. I think they can support with the programs which Nepal has already started. For example, fully immunization declaration. And we also celebrate Baisak month, the month of April, as a immunization month, while the globe will celebrate the week of April, one of the week of April, as a immunization week. All the country has to work for the zero dose and under-immunized population. All countries should receive some support from the global agency as well, from Gavi and from WHO and UNICEF, by supplying vaccines, which the country or the children are most likely missing the dose. For example, measles, rubella, which is the last dose, and people in Nepal most likely miss the last dose of routine immunization schedule. So the country or the global partners should focus or should support the country with those vaccines.
Dr. Gautam, thank you so much for your time here on NTV World Insight.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Well, we can conclude from today's discussion that immunization is not just about vaccines. It's about equity, trust, community engagement, and global cooperation. Nepal's progress shows that even with limited resources, strong political commitment and community-driven approaches can deliver extraordinary results. As the world works toward leaving no child behind, Nepal's experience adds meaningful perspective to global immunization discussions. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Insight. Until next time.
Votekosi and Trisuli river rafting. Rafting has lately been gaining popularity among tourists. The adventure sport, which previously was popular only among foreigners, is now drawing the local tourists as well. Trisuli and Votekosi rivers that are close to Kathmandu are two popular destinations for rafting in Bagmati province. Let us first explore Votekosi. Whitewater rafting at Votekosi river is included among the 10 best adventure destinations for rafting in the world. Votekosi, which is well facilitated with food and accommodation, can be a great destination for rafting and other adventure sports. Rafting at Trisuli river is popular among domestic tourists, as the location can be reached in an hour from Kathmandu. This is where most tourists go for rafting in Nepal. Rafting packages of Votekosi and Trisuli are appropriate for those who want to spend some good time for a few days.
culture and identity of a nation or community is deeply embedded in its craft and lifestyle. In this, specialized craft producers are major actors. Besides specialized skills and uniqueness, time adds value to such crafts. In this film, we explore two such specialized crafts, one in Kathmandu and the other in Niigata, that have played significant role in elevating their respective national culture and identity in the world's fair. The capital of Nepal, Kathmandu, is a spectacular blend of natural beauty and culture. Habitat to about 2.5 million people, the city holds a rich cultural history that dates back to the ancient times. The 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites it encompasses are evident to the fact. Swayambhunath, Bodhanath, Pashupatinath temple premises, Changunarayan temple area, as well as the 3 Darbar squares of Kathmandu, Patan and Bhaktapur enlisted in the UNESCO Cultural World Heritage Site are not only a glimpse of its civilization, but Nepalese treasured pride. The civilization of Kathmandu, that lies 1400 meters above the sea level, seemingly holds a close connection with copper products since time immemorial. Historical text has it that Kathmandu in ancient time was referred to as Nepal. Sanskrit lexicographers have a synonym of tamra or copper as Nepaliklam and Nepalam. Hence, the origin of the name Nepal is assumed to have been derived from the Sanskrit word copper. In Nepal, copper has been a basic raw material to a wide range of art and crafts, including in sculpture, architecture, detail and housewares making. Thus, it has over time been an integral part of Nepali civilization and lifestyle.
इस्वीको सुरुदेखि चाहिँ ताम्र को टुक्राहरूको व्यवहारबाट चाहिँ यसको चलनचल्ती भएको बुझिन्छ। त्यसपछि चाहिँ 6औं शताब्दीमा आएर चाहिँ यसबाट चाहिँ मुद्रा बनाउने चलन आयो। तिस्टुङको भटुवाल र पाल्चोक भन्ने दुई ठाउँमा अंशुवर्माले राखेको अभिलेखमा चाहिँ यो ताम्रभाण्ड तामाका भाँडाहरू चाहिँ सरकारको स्वीकृति बिना बाहिर लानु हुँदैन भन्ने उल्लेख आएको छ। भेन्साङ चाहिँ भारतमा आएर भारतबाट चाहिँ नेपाल भएर चाहिँ चीन फर्केको बुझिन्छ। त्यो चाहिँ 643-44 ईस्वी सम्बततिर आएको बुझिन्छ। त्यो जुन कैलाशकूट भवन छ त्यो कैलाशकूट भवन बारे भेन्साङले एकदमै राम्रो चाहिँ उल्लेख गरेको छ कि यो 7 तलाको थियो। यसको चाहिँ छाना चाहिँ तामाको थियो। यसको चाहिँ नेपालमा चाहिँ तामाको पैसा चाहिँ चल्तीमा छ। यहाँका मानिसहरूले भाँडाकुँडाहरू तामाको चलाउँछ। यी कुराहरू उल्लेख गरेको छ जुन चाहिँ चाइनाको टाङ वृत्तान्तमा अथवा इतिहासमा उल्लेख गरिएको छ।
The earliest known Ripause image is Garudasana Vishnu, dated 607 CE from Changunarayan temple in Bhaktapur. Some historical metal idols of the 6th and 7th century are remaining in private possession or in museum collections abroad. A significant consideration as evidence of copper metal craft are the idols dating back to the 11th century excavated in Makwanpur, which is a district adjoining Kathmandu. At the moment, these rare valuables are safely harbored at the Patan Darbar Square Museum. Among the 3 cities of Kathmandu Valley, Patan is comparatively popular for copper craft. Hundreds of families, especially the Newars, who are natives of this cultural city, have been preserving their ancestral legacy of manufacturing copperwares and artifacts for generations now. In Nepal, copper artifacts are made mainly through 2 techniques, either by lost waxing or repousse, which is a technique of pounding metal sheets. The Malla period between 1200 to 1482 is considered a golden era in terms of metalcraft in Nepal. An array of work dazzling in its quantity and quality was produced then, much of which survives. The popularity of Nepali artisans had reached far and wide. It was in this period that Araniko, the famous artisan, was taken to Tibet. In 1265, Emperor Kublai Khan of China, impressed with Araniko's work, invited him to the capital and got him to renovate the artifacts in the monastery there, dating back to the Song period. In 1274, Emperor Khan appointed Araniko the director of the court artisans in China. To date, artists in hundreds are committed to continue the legacy of copper craft in Nepal. Among them, some are successfully effortful to simultaneously take ahead promotion and expansion of the craft. Among such names is Rajkumar Shakya, renowned for his crafts and entrepreneurship. Shakya was born on 1966 in Patan, in a family of metal craftsmen.
हाम्रो पुर्खौली अब बाजे बराजु देखि नै यही काममा लाग्नु भएको बुवाले काम गर्नु भएको जासलमा बसेर बुवासँगै बसेर खेल्दै सिक्दै काम गर्दै गर्दै परम्परागत तरिकाले नै सिकेको मैले सानो बेला सिक्दाखेरि त्यति बजार पनि थिएन यो कलाको अहिले आउँदाखेरि यो कलाको चाहिँ बजार पनि अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय जगतमा फैलिँदै गयो यसको चाहिँ उत्पादनमा पनि वृद्धि गर्नुपर्ने देखियो
Shakya's works have made a niche both in the national and international market. Passion, focus, devotion and search for new ideas is what has elevated Shakya's profile as compared to other artists. The incomparable expression of skill and creation of beauty are reflected in his works, which are beyond imagination for any ordinary artists. His widely acclaimed works of craft have been placed at various countries, with Japan, Vietnam, China, Thailand harboring his significant works. The latest is the 155 feet tall idol of Guru Padmasambhav in Bhutan. Based on repousse, pounded sheets of copper were wrapped around iron skeleton which was built using modern architecture. Supervised by Shakya, it took 4 years for 57 artisans to complete the idol.
2000 Expo मा जर्मनमा मैले सबभन्दा ठुलो स्वयम्भूको स्तूपा बनाउने अवसर पाएँ फेरि पछि चाहिँ 2010 मा चाइनामा पनि फेरि वर्ल्ड एक्सपोमा त्यहाँ पनि मैले चाहिँ ठुलो स्तूपा बनाउने र अरु कलाकृतिहरू बनाउने मौका पाएँ त्यसमा चाहिँ अझ मैले चाहिँ हाम्रो हनुमान ढोकाको श्वेत भैरवको मुखाकृति 12 फिटको श्वेत भैरवको मुखाकृति पनि बनाउने अवसर पाएँ। त्यो पनि त्यहाँ अब चाइनामा चाहिँ एक्सपोमा प्रदर्शन गर्न पाएँ। त्यसपछि अनि चाहिँ मैले भुटानमा पद्मसम्भवको मूर्ति बनाउने पनि अवसर पाएँ।
Cultural and anthropological experts have highly evaluated Shakya's efficiency and capabilities.
त्यो 14औं शताब्दीमा जुन परम्परा थियो हाम्रो नेपालबाट अन्य देशमा गएर चाहिँ नि कलाकारहरूले आफ्नो कला प्रस्तुत गर्ने, नेपालको कलाकारितालाई त्यहाँ चाहिँ नि स्थापित गर्ने जुन काम गरेको थियो, त्यसै कामको चाहिँ नि निरन्तरताको रूपमा अहिले हामीले 20औं 21औं शताब्दीमा राजकुमार साकेजीलाई पाएको छौं। यस्तो ठुलो ठुलो ह्युज त्यो मूर्तिहरू बनाउने क्रममा चाहिँ नि त्यो मूर्तिको एउटा स्थानबाट अर्को स्थानमा सार्नु, त्यस्तै गरी त्यसलाई चाहिँ प्रोपोर्सनेट मिलाउने आदि इत्यादि टेक्निकल पनि एकदमै कठिन काम हो। अब यसलाई चाहिँ उहाँले अत्यन्तै माइन्युटली चाहिँ गर्नु हुँदो रहेछ।
To reach Shakya's stature, however, takes a lot of dedication, devotion, practice and patience. Thus, not many youth look keen in pursuing with the profession. Keeping this in mind, Shakya also conducts classes for the younger generation in a bid to hand it over to them. Most interestingly, Shakya's son is also one of his pupils and has already joined him in his business.
हेरिटेजमा नेपालको एकदम टुरिस्टहरु पनि एकदम आकर्षित भयो हेरिटेजमा हैन, त्यही भएर अब बुवा पनि यसमै लाग्नु भयो। त्यही पनि मैले नि यसमै गरौँ कि जस्तो मलाई लाग्यो। बुवा यति आर्टिस्ट भएर पनि अब मेरोमा पनि धेरै एक्सपेक्टेसन गर्छन् होला अरूले पनि, त्यही भएर अब सिक्न काम गाह्रो पनि छ, सिक्न अब टाइम पनि लाग्नेछ, धेरै सिक्न पनि त बाँकी छ।
Such noble endeavors, complemented by the engagement of the younger generation, have indeed sparked a hope that the prosperous tradition will be kept alive. For those involved in copper kitchenwares and housewares, the biggest emerging threat is the modern wares, which are both attractive and cheaper. In a bid to preserve their profession, they have now attempted to add diversity to their products based on the demand of the changing times. Meanwhile, there are others like Kalyan Krishna Tamrakar, who, although remaining in the trade, have embraced newer productions based on market needs. Tamrakar has been manufacturing artistic utensils along with internationally acclaimed singing bowls, which are mostly used in meditational purposes.
करीब 28 वर्ष भयो सिंगिङ बोल्स, नयाँ सिंगिङ बोल्स बनाउने र त्यसमा अलिकति थेरापिक युजको लागि बनाएको सायद नेपालमा पहिलो नै मैले बनाए होला। एउटा फिलोसफी हो र जहाँसम्म युटेन्सिल्स मैले बनाउने सन्दर्भमा पहिला यो धेरै पहिलाहरू बन्थ्यो र पछि बिस्तारै यो ब्रोन्जको युटेन्सिल्सहरू लोप हुँदै गयो। अनि यो बनाउनु पाए हुन्छ कि भनेर अनि हामीले यसलाई फेरि बनाउन थालेको।
The market for singing bowls is mostly Europe and is used in intensive research and meditation. The sound created from the balls vary based on the utensil itself and is proven effective for improving blood circulation and hence is used in therapy as well. Tamrakar, whose forefathers had been copper craftsmen by profession, has justifiably promoted their knowledge and skills in the wider market through entrepreneurship. Majority of his buyers are from Germany and Japan.
やはり他で買いが利かないのと、さらにその日本の求める品質にネパールの人たちが合わせてものを作ってくれるからと思います。
私のユーザーは心を癒すそういったツールを大変求めているユーザーが多いです。例えばアロマセラピーの方でヨガの方、そういった方たちの要望に応えるためにネパールから輸入しようと思いました。そうすると残ってる手作りは大変高い、ほとんどアーティストのレベルしか残りなくなります。 一般の方が使う商品はもう今やネパールでないとできないのが現状だと思っています。ですから私たちのユーザーはそれを望んでますから、今私もネパールから大変たくさんの量を輸入しています。
In the Yahikoyama terrain drained by Shinano River lies Niigata city. Rice farming is predominant owing to the rich soil deposit which makes it ideal for agriculture. Besides, it is also renowned for the high-quality copper mines. During the Meiji period, copper mining flourished in the foothills. Adorned in tulip blooms, the designated city of food and flowers does not rest even amidst thick blankets of snow. Tsubame in Niigata is a city of metal craft and craftsmen that have thrived through prosperity and tumultuous times. At the beginning of the 1600s, lot of artisans came to exist in the Tsubame Sanjo area, driven by the local administration's policy of encouraging side business. Thus originated the metal processing industry from the making of Japanese-style nails known as wakugi. The first artisans also produced household items including agricultural tools, kitchenwares and tobacco pipes. Once Japan started importing Western-style nails, the number of artisans gradually started decreasing. During the Second World War until 1945, the factories in the local area had to be mobilized to produce military goods. The 1950s was a time of mass production and mass consumption in Japan. Thus, metal processing companies grew multifold in number and size. Following the Plaza Accord that largely intervened currency markets, the factories gradually lost their business to their overseas competitors. They did not have as many orders as they once had. As a result, the local business temporarily but sharply declined.
今、燕市で追記銅器というふうに言われている、器といいますか、ものがありますけれども、それは一般的に金工でいう金属を加工する技術の中の単金と言われるものの一つでして、それを全国的に同じような技法はたくさんあるんですけれども、燕市ではそれを追記銅器と呼んでいる。燕市の追記銅器というのは伝統工芸技術としても県の指定にもなっておりますし、伝統工芸品としても指定されていますが、燕市の中では大体今から250年くらい前の江戸時代の後期にその技術が仙台の方から来た職人によって伝わったと言われています。
Kakuhei Tamagawa also learned the technique from the craftsman and hence founded Gyokusendo in 1816. Since then, about 300 artisans have kept alive the traditional skills. The company is currently a leader in Niigata to preserve and expand the treasured tradition of Tsukidoki. It is said during the Second World War, when weapons and arms mass production had peaked, the Tsukidoki industry nearly disappeared owing to shortages of copper. It was Gyokusendo's then leadership that brought back the craftsmen dispersed across the country, that helped in the revival of the industry. Gyokusendo celebrates its 200th anniversary in 2016. Today, its outlets are spread in top-notch departmental stores in high-end streets of Japan and overseas. Motoyuki Tamagawa is the 7th master of Gyokusendo. Since taking over the company at an early age, he has worked hard to promote his products and company. Tamagawa, who strongly believes in adapting to business management style with time rather than changing age-old skill patterns, introduced the trend of putting his artisans in direct contact with the customers at Gyokusendo's outlets and during exhibitions. This, he believes, not only helps customer understand the skill and hard work required to create an artifact, but also helps the artisans learn the needs and tastes of the changing times.
顔の見える商売をしようと思ったんですよね。でそこで私が考えたのが商社を下ろさずに直接こう百貨店に行ってでそこでこう実演販売をして職人がお客様と会話するようなこのビジネスモデルを作っているんですね。この玉泉の方向としては、大量というよりは本当こうね銅器をこう愛用してくださる方に対してちゃんとこう説明してちゃんと愛用していただける方を対象としたやっぱり商売をしていきたいと思ってますんでだからそういうこと職人も、だからこう職人をどんどんこう増やすというわけではなくビジネスもどんどんこう大きくするわけではなくてちゃんとこう玉泉堂というブランドをね本当こう高めていくでお客様のその愛用する顧客満足度もやっぱり高めていくというところがすごく大事だと思ってますね。
At the Gyokusendo factory, about 15 artisans of various ages work hard by the day to improve their skills. Working with Gyokusendo is a dream for many artisans. Gyokusendo recruits one from among hundreds applying every year. For a craftsman, it can take about 20 to 30 years to acquire proficiency to handle a set of techniques all by himself. Each stroke in Tsukidoki is made in such a way such that the marks do not overlap. The proficiency of an artisan is observed in a vessel made out of one copper sheet and without any seams. For the younger artisans, it is a matter of a lot of perseverance and patience. Today, all independent Tsukidoki artisans in Tsubame were once trained at Gyokusendo. Among them, a prominent name is of an artist par excellence, Master Norio Tamagawa.
今のその木目金イコール木目金っていうのがもう、のりおさんのことなんですけれども、その土台となっているのはやっぱり玉泉堂で修行していた時代の追記銅器という技術が骨幹にあって根元のところにあって、でそこから、亡くなられた師匠のところに、弟子入りをしたりですとかいろんなご苦労修行の中でご苦労されながら、今、世界にもこう名前を馳せるようになった素晴らしい作品を作られるようになったと思います。
Master Norio Tamagawa is the pride of Niigata and is acclaimed as the living national treasure Japan. His insurmountable contribution in reviving Moku Megane through his outstanding and unique creation is beyond comparison. The Tsubame Industrial History Museum, which is a hub to compile, preserve and exhibit industrial heritages, has set up a separate section to exhibit his works. This meticulously carved artifact harbored at the museum is the master's signature art piece. The masterpiece is a delicately hammered, refined handiwork that, owing to its traditional aura and aesthetic value, has awed art lovers and consumers across the world.
いわゆる就職って言いますか、会社へ入りますね。会社従業員として入って、何年か経った時に少し外の世界も見たいと思って東京へ2年ばかり修行に行ったんです。日本の芸大っていうね、その人たちとの交流もあったんで、その作品、私の場合はずっとほら商品を作ってたわけでしょ。商品じゃない作品作りのペースっていうのをね、 ああ違うもんだなっていうのをつくづく感じましたね。
The master reminisces it took him 11 years before he could call his product a piece of art. As a young artist, he took inspiration from his seniors to aim high and excel bigger dreams.
"作品作りには影響ないね。作品の場合はあくまでも個人のなんだ欲求のままに作るんですからね。世間が何を求めてるかっていうのはあんまり関係ない。っていうのは力がいる仕事なんでね。もう70過ぎてね現役っていうのは今まであんまりいなかったんです。だから私は仕方ないからやってるけども、だから夢はないけども、もう作品をいくつ作れるか。
The traditional skill nurtured by newer skills, tools and technology has elevated the 200-year-old technique to a world-class art. Contemporary Sukidoki products include a wide range of aesthetically distinctive housewares and artifacts. Mr. Tatsushi Tamagawa, currently the chief manager at Gyokusendo, is Master Norio Tamagawa's son. He started as an artisan at Gyokusendo. Since then, much has changed. He has seen the changing business landscape, the diversity in products, which he says directly or indirectly determines the mindset and working style of an artisan.
言われたものを、早くきっちり作るっていうのがというのはいい職人だと思うんですけども、最近はプラスいろいろこういう喋るものとかも今はそういうふうに、いろいろお客様に説明するとかそういうものも含まれて、全てこなしていい職人になるのかなという感じは最近はありますね。
Most fascinatingly, his son Keita, the youngest of the Tamagawas, also works under him at Gyokusendo. At 20, Keita is already an efficient beginner. Initially, driven by his grandfather's success when he joined the company, it was but a prized escape for Keita. But now, Keita is intensively working hard to attain the precision to be a better artist.
そうですね。どちらの方もすごい仕事に対して一生懸命で寡黙なので、そういうところを自分に取り入れられたらいいなとは思ってますね。なんか、僕のお父さんもなんだおじいちゃんに真似してるっていうか似てきているのでなんかそうですね。おじいちゃんからはやっぱりちょっと仕事がテキパキ早いので、そういうところをちょっと見習いたいなとは思いますね。そういうところです。はい。
Since the beginning of human civilization, art has evolved based on culture and vice versa. Nevertheless, the demand of changing times has had a detrimental role to play in its course and form. Whether it is Niigata or Kathmandu, artisans continue to express themselves in their artworks. There is little doubt the modern-day artisan's creativity, aided by modern technology, has not only helped preserve traditional skills, but also contributed to the ascent of human civilization.
This is The World This Week, your weekly roundup of the latest international events and updates. This is me, Bhavana Casey. In this edition, we bring you the stories making headlines across the globe, along with groundbreaking scientific research to cultural milestones and remarkable celebrations. Let's start with Bangladesh, as the country is entering a new political chapter. Tariq Rahman has been sworn in as Bangladesh's new Prime Minister, marking a decisive political shift in the South Asian nation after his party's sweeping parliamentary election victory. Rahman takes over from an interim government that has steered the country of 170 million people for 18 months since the government led by Sheikh Hasina was overthrown in 2024's uprising. Bangladesh's new Prime Minister has been sworn in after his party's landslide win in last week's parliamentary elections, the country's first since the massive 2024 uprising, and a vote billed as the key to nation's future political landscape. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman, whose term will last the next 5 years, is the son of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia and former President Zia-ur-Rahman. He is also Bangladesh's first male Prime Minister in 35 years. Since 1991, when Bangladesh returned to democracy, either Rahman's mother Khaleda Zia or her arch-rival Sheikh Hasina has served as prime ministers. The country's president Mohammad Sahebuddin administered the oath of office for Rahman. Dozens of cabinet members and members of the new government are also sworn in. Rahman's Bangladesh Nationalist Party and its allies own 212 seats in the 350-member parliament, while an 11-party alliance led by the Jamaat-e-Islami party, the country's largest Islamist party, owns 77 seats to be in the opposition. A new party, the Nationalist Citizen Party or NCP, formed by the student leaders who led the 2024 uprising, was the part of the 11-party alliance led by Jamaat-e-Islami. The NCP secured 6 seats. In Bangladesh, voters elect 300 members of parliament directly, while the remaining 50 posts are reserved for women and distributed on a proportional basis among the winning parties. 60-year-old Rahman returned to the country in December after 17 years in self-exile in London and shortly before his mother's death. He has promised to work for democracy in Bangladesh, a country of 170 million people. An interim government led by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus that took over after Hasina was toppled oversaw the election. The vote was largely peaceful and deemed as acceptable by international observers. Foreign dignitaries and diplomats also attended the swearing-in ceremony. Nepal's Foreign Minister Balananda Sharma, along with Maldives President Mohammad Muizu, Bhutanese Prime Minister Tshering Tobgay, and Indian delegation led by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla were among the guests. Iran and the US have reached an understanding on the main principles to resolve their nuclear dispute following indirect talks in Geneva. Iranian and US officials described the discussions in Geneva as making progress, while Oman, the mediator, says common goals and technical issues have been identified. The meeting followed repeated U.S. military threats against Iran over its deadly crackdown on anti-government protest and its nuclear activities. Speaking after indirect talks in Geneva, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi added that work still needed to be done.
زمان مشخصی تنظیم نشد، قرار شد یک مقدار دو طرف روی متن‌های یک توافق احتمالی کار انجام بدن و بعد ما این متن‌ها رو تبادل بکنیم و بعد تاریخ دیگری رو برای دور سوم در نظر بگیریم.
Badr al-Bushaidi, Foreign Minister of Mediator Oman, also said the negotiations concluded with good progress towards identifying common goals and relevant technical issues. The US said progress has been made. Ahead of the talks between the United States and Iran in Geneva, US President Donald Trump had warned Iran of the consequences of not making a deal.
I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. It's been typically Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential, and we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. They want to make a deal.
I've been told that a deal is next to impossible.
No, I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
The US and its European allies suspect that Iran is moving towards the development of a nuclear weapon, something that Tehran has always denied. Meanwhile, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC released images of military exercises conducted in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point through which a significant portion of the world's oil supplies pass. State media reported that the drill showcased missile, drone, and naval operations and were held on the eve of discussions with the United States. The parallel display of military strength and diplomatic engagement underscores the fragile atmosphere surrounding the talks, which are expected to focus on Iran's nuclear program and the possibility of easing economic sanctions. Officials from Russia and Ukraine met in Geneva this week for United States brokered talks, with both sides describing both rounds of talks as constructive. However, they failed to achieve any breakthrough. The talks follow 2 rounds of U.S. brokered negotiations held in the United Arab Emirates in January and early February.
Talks between Russia, Ukraine and the US aimed at ending Moscow's war in Ukraine have concluded without a breakthrough. The trilateral meetings held in Geneva went on late on Tuesday but only lasted 2 hours on Wednesday. Although US envoy Steve Witkoff had expressed optimism over the talks, both the chief Russian negotiator and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky indicated they had been difficult. Some progress was made on military issues, including the location of the front line and ceasefire monitoring, but an agreement on the issue of territory, without which no ceasefire can be envisaged, remains elusive, with Moscow and Kyiv's positions still far apart. Russia has not budged in its demand for full control of the eastern Donbas region, made up of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, which is a non-starter for Ukraine. While conceding talks were challenging, Kremlin negotiator Vladimir Medinsky added they had been businesslike and said another meeting would take place soon. Zelensky also described the negotiations as not easy due to differences in the two sides' positions.
Garbage is piling up across Indonesian capital Jakarta and surrounding areas, where 42 million people produce about 14,000 tons of waste every day. Overflowing landfills and blocked drains are raising health and flood risk as officials face pressure to find better recycling and waste solutions. Garbage-choked streets, overflowing landfills, and the looming threat of trash avalanches are increasingly affecting Greater Jakarta as the world's most populous metropolitan area struggles with a growing waste crisis. The Indonesian capital and its surrounding satellite cities are home to some 42 million people. Together, they generate an estimated 14,000 tons of waste every day, straining collection services and landfill capacities. Local authorities are facing mounting pressure to improve waste management infrastructure, but chronic underfunding, population growth, and inadequate public awareness hinder the efforts. Environmental groups warn that without urgent action, the crisis could pose serious health risks, damage waterways, and contribute to long-term pollution in the region. Landfills around the capital are reaching capacity faster than anticipated, prompting calls for more sustainable solutions such as recycling, composting, and waste-to-energy initiatives. Ramadan has begun for millions of Muslims around the world after Saudi astronomers sighted the new moon. During the holy month, they fast from sunrise to sunset, focus on prayer and charity, and gather with family for iftar meals.
Millions of Muslims around the world have begun observing Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, after Saudi astronomers confirmed the sighting of the new moon. Saudi religious authorities continue to rely on direct visual sighting, a practice that has been followed since the time of the Prophet Muhammad. During Ramadan, Muslims abstain from food and water from sunrise until sunset, breaking their fast with an iftar meal afterwards. In addition to fasting, adherents are encouraged to increase prayer, engage in charitable acts, and strengthen family and community ties through evening iftar meals. The month represents a time of increased worship, religious reflection, and charity, but it is also a time for families and communities to come together to break their fast, culminating in the Islamic holiday of Eid al-Fitr. The conclusion of Ramadan is marked by Eid al-Fitr, a festival celebrated with prayers, feasts, and social gatherings. This year, Eid is projected to fall on April 10-11, depending on moon sightings across different regions. The observance of Ramadan remains one of the 5 pillars of Islam, underscoring its central role in Muslim religious life worldwide.
Scientists say they have drilled deeper than ever beneath the West Antarctic ice sheet. The vast expanse is estimated to hold enough ice to raise global sea levels by 4 to 5 meters.
An international team of researchers has successfully drilled the longest ever sediment core from underneath a major ice sheet, bringing up layers of ancient mud, rock, and microfossils that date back as far as 23 million years. The achievement, part of the sensitivity of West Antarctic ice sheet to 2 degrees Celsius project, involved boring through over 523 meters of ice at remote camp on the edge of the West Antarctic ice sheet and then taking 228 meters of sediment core from below the ice's base, the deepest such core ever recovered in this part of the world. What makes this discovery so important isn't just the depth reached, but what's in those rocks. Scientists have found shell fragments and tiny marine fossils deep in the sediment, clear indicators that the site was, at times in Earth's distant past, not covered by thick ice, but connected to open ocean conditions. Those marine signs suggest that the massive ice sheet that blankets West Antarctica today once retreated far inland, exposing seafloor and allowing light-dependent ocean life to flourish. Researchers believe this sediment archive captures a timeline of multiple climate and ice sheet states, spanning periods of warmer global temperatures when the ice margin was smaller or even absent.
In an update from Space World, an international team of astronauts has arrived at the International Space Station. 2 Americans, 1 French and 1 Russian astronauts are embarking on a months-long research mission, stepping in for a crew that had to return to the Earth early due to a medical issue. An international team of astronauts arrived at the International Space Station ISS on February the 14th, restoring the station's full complement following the early departure of the previous crew due to a medical issue. The Crew 12 team includes American astronauts Jessica Meir and Jack Hathaway, Francis Sophie Adenauer, and Russian cosmonaut Andrei Fedorov. Their arrival brings the ISS back to full operational strength, enabling a return to the station's complete research and maintenance schedule. The astronauts will conduct an 8-month mission focusing on experiments in biomedical science, microgravity physics, and technology demonstrations. They will carry out routine maintenance and spacewalks that were delayed under the reduced crew complement. The previous Crew 11 team returned to the Earth ahead of the schedule in January after a crew member required a medical evacuation, the first such instance in NASA's spaceflight history. NASA officials say Crew 12's arrival is vital for sustaining international cooperation in low Earth orbit and supporting the agency's broader goals, including preparations for future lunar missions under the Artemis program and long-duration deep space and long-duration space exploration. Thousands gathered in northwest Nigeria as the fishing festival returned to the area. The festival promotes unity, culture, and tourism in the region. Nigeria's iconic Argungu Fishing Festival has made a triumphant return in northwest Nigeria after a 6-year hiatus caused by insecurity in Kebbi State. Thousands of fishermen from across the region gathered to compete in the traditional event, which has long been celebrated as one of Africa's largest cultural and sporting festivals. Participants used traditional nets and canoes to catch fish, vying for honors and prizes in a display of skill, endurance, and local heritage. Security forces were deployed to ensure the safety of both competitors and spectators, reflecting ongoing efforts to stabilize the region. Festival organizers emphasized that the revival signals a return to normalcy and boost local tourism and economic activity in Kebbi State. The event also included cultural performance, music, and traditional ceremonies, highlighting the region's rich heritage. Officials say the festival provides opportunities for youth engagement and the promotion of communal unity through shared cultural practice. It is noted that successful resumption could encourage similar cultural festivals to restart in areas previously affected by insecurity. The annual Kurdistan Ice and Snow Festival has been held at Mount Korek in northern Iraq, attracting athletes from Iraq and neighboring countries. Competitors took part in skiing, snowboarding, and snowmobile racing, celebrating winter sports and the region's natural beauty.
The annual Kurdistan Ice and Snow Festival
officially kicked off in Tuesday on Mount Korek in northern Iraq, drawing more than 50 local and international athletes to the snow-covered slopes of the autonomous Kurdistan region. Set against a backdrop of sweeping white peaks and crisp winter skies, the festival has quickly become one of the region's most anticipated seasonal events. Competitors from across Iraq and several neighboring countries gathered to take part in a variety of snow sports, including skiing, snowboarding, snowmobile racing, and endurance challenges designed to test speed, skill, and stamina. Organizers said the event aims not only to promote winter sports, but also to highlight the natural beauty and tourism potential of the mountainous area. Mount Korek, which rises more than 2,000 meters above sea level, is one of the few locations in the country where snowfall is heavy enough to sustain winter sporting activities. The festival's opening ceremony featured music performances, cultural displays, and welcoming remarks from local officials who emphasized the importance of sports in fostering unity and international cooperation. Athletes expressed enthusiasm about competing in the unique setting. Many described the event as an opportunity to exchange experiences, build friendships, and encourage greater interest in winter sports among young people in the region.
Millions across Asia welcomed the Chinese Lunar New Year this week, ushering in the Year of the Horse. Cities from Beijing to Bangkok hosted a mix of traditional ceremonies, public events, and family gatherings to mark the arrival of New Year.
Humanoid robots take center stage during China's annual Spring Festival Gala, performing a martial arts routine that included kicks, sword waving, and backflips. The performance, broadcast to millions of viewers nationwide, featured synchronized choreography that mimicked traditional Chinese martial arts, demonstrating precision and agility rarely seen in machine performers. Meanwhile, at the China Media Group's 2026 Spring Festival Gala, a humanoid robot powered by embodied artificial intelligence took on dual roles on and off the stage, serving both as a capable assistant and a cast member in the country's most watched television event. At the entrance of the broadcasting performance hall, the robot named Galbot worked as a shop assistant, handing snacks and drinks to performers and audiences. It also stepped into the spotlight, teaming up with renowned artists to feature in a microfilm presented during the gala. Currently, more than 100 robot stores have been set up in over 20 cities nationwide.
Brazil's famous Rio Carnival is underway, with the parade paying a vibrant tribute to late Brazilian rock star Rita Lee, with dancers, musicians, and floats celebrating her musical legacy and impact on women in music.
The second night of Rio de Janeiro's carnival parades at the Samba Drome opened with a vibrant display from the Mocidade Independente de Padre Miguel Samba School, paying tribute to the late Rita Lee. The performance featured an explosion of bright colors, elaborate costumes, and a psychedelic visual aesthetic inspired by the legendary Brazilian rock singer and composer, whose songs have become feminist anthems across generations. Dancers, musicians, and floats wove together Lee's musical legacy with traditional samba rhythms, captivating both the live audience and viewers watching nationwide broadcasts. Organizers describe the tribute as a celebration of Lee's contributions to Brazilian culture and her pioneering role in promoting women's voices in music. Spectator highlighted the emotional impact of the performance, with several noting that the parade successfully blended contemporary artistic expression with the city's long-standing carnival traditions. Authorities reported heightened security and crowd management measures at the Samba Drome as thousands of spectators attended the parade, ensuring the event proceeded safely amid the large turnout.
Well, this brings us to the end of this episode of The World This Week. We hope you enjoyed as much as we did bringing it to you. We shall see you again next week with a new episode. Also, do follow us on our website www.nepaltelevision.com, our social media handles, as well as our YouTube channel. Till then, take care and bye-bye.
Bagmati province boasts the federal capital Kathmandu. Which is the center of attraction. Kathmandu Valley is a tourism hub of Nepal, as it has the only operational international airport of the country. Kathmandu is also the only entry point for those reaching Nepal by air. Bagmati province is also the place with the most tourist destinations and tourism-related activities. This province offers several attractions for both domestic and foreign tourists. Today, we take you to some of the beautiful destinations of Bagmati province, which is rich in culture and heritages. The capital of Nepal, the place with most tourist destinations, major destination for both domestic and foreign tourists. Province rich in culture and heritages. It is a beautiful valley of 3 districts, Kathmandu, Bhaktapur and Lalitpur. The valley offers best environmental conditions. The region is also considered exceptional in terms of historical, cultural and natural artifacts and political history. Let us visit first Pashupatinath, which is popular around the world among Hindu pilgrims. This is Pashupatinath temple. Lord Pashupatinath is the real name of Lord Shiva. Pashupatinath temple and the premises have long been the center of faith of Hindus around the world. It is one of the 7 World Heritage Sites in Kathmandu Valley. We now take you to another significant heritage in the valley, which is Swayambhunath. A popular monastery located in the west of Kathmandu. Thousands of tourists reach Swayambhunath every day. Foreign tourists who reach Kathmandu do not miss out on Swayambhunath. While domestic visitors flock to this heritage on holidays. Swayambhunath is one of the preferred destinations of tourists in Kathmandu. Another heritage is Bodhanath. Bodhanath is the center of faith for Buddhists. This is the largest hemispherical stupa of Nepal. The monastery is built on massive 3 layers. Heritage has become a preferred destination for both domestic and foreign tourists. Let us now go to Basantapur Darbar Square of Malla era in Kathmandu. This place can be a significant destination for those with an interest of study and research of history and handicrafts of the Malla era. This heritage holds a unique significance because of its location in the heart of Kathmandu with a lot of human movement. Basantapur Darbar Square draws both domestic and foreign tourists alike. Moving on, we head to Bhaktapur, which is rich in Newari culture. Bhaktapur Darbar Square is considered significant not only for its history, but also for its culture, art and handicrafts. With the objective of promoting nighttime tourism in Kirtipur, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur. Yes, Bhaktapur is the smallest district of Nepal. However, it is the richest in terms of heritages. If you reach Bhaktapur but do not make it to Changunarayan, that would leave your trip incomplete. We are now taking you to Changunarayan temple to complete your Bhaktapur visit. This temple, which is located just 6 kilometers north of Bhaktapur city, is not only significant for its historic, artistic and religious aspects, but also for tourism. This temple, which is considered the oldest in the valley, was listed in UNESCO's World Heritage Sites in 1969. We now move on to Lalitpur, also known as Patan. Of the popular three cities of Kathmandu Valley, Patan is considered the oldest. Patan Darbar Square is located in this city. Extraordinary works of Newari art and craft can be seen in this region, which has been decorated with cultural heritages since the 17th century. Such richness tends to draw the tourists. Locals in Kathmandu might have visited all destinations around the city. However, these destinations could be new to foreign tourists and those from outside the valley. These are a few destinations for hiking around Kathmandu for a brief escape from the city. Let us now go to a few tourist destinations near Kathmandu for a couple of nights. Sauraha is one of the major tourist destinations of Nepal. It is considered the best destination for wildlife tourism. The main objective of reaching Sauraha is to visit the Chitwan National Park. Elephant ride, jeep safari and jungle walk are the ways to visit the national park. Most of the tourists find elephant ride the most interesting. Boating must not be missed in Sauraha. Watching the crocodiles in their leisure at the Rapti river bank is a pleasing feeling. Birds from up to Siberia can be seen during winter. A view of the sunset from the bank of Rapti river, a ride in horse, an ox cart, and Sauraha market area are other attractions of this place. Tharu dance and culture further entertain the tourists. One of the most popular trekking trails of the world, Langtang National Park, lies in Bagmati province. Let's have a look at the specialities and attractions of Langtang. Langtang, which spreads across 6,440 meters in Sindhupalchok, Nuwakot and Rasua districts, is the first national park of the mountainous region. National park includes popular mountainous valley Langtang, Kinjing and the pilgrimage site of Gosaikunda. Separate trails lead up to Gosaikunda and Langtang Valley inside the Langtang National Park. Rare species of red panda, snow leopards and wild dogs among other animals can be seen during treks in the region. The range of mountains, wild animals, bird watching, valleys and Gosaikunda, among other water bodies, are the major attractions of Langtang. Ruby Valley. Ruby Valley near Langtang is a new tourist destination. Ruby Valley in Dhading district is the closest destination to Kathmandu for trekking. Ruby is a precious stone. The valley is named Ruby Valley as precious stones including ruby and quartz are found here. Wild animals at the verge of extinction including red panda, mountainous range, lakes, beautiful settlements, yak, traditional cattle rearing, Votekosi and Trisuli river rafting. Rafting has lately been gaining popularity among tourists. The adventure sport, which previously was popular only among foreigners, is now drawing the local tourists as well. Trisuli and Votekosi rivers that are close to Kathmandu are two popular destinations for rafting in Bagmati province. Let us first explore Votekosi. Whitewater rafting at Votekosi river is included among the 10 best adventure destinations for rafting in the world. Votekosi, which is well facilitated with food and accommodation, can be a great destination for rafting and other adventure sports. Rafting at Trisuli river is popular among domestic tourists, as the location can be reached in an hour from Kathmandu. This is where most tourists go for rafting in Nepal. Rafting packages of Votekosi and Trisuli are appropriate for those who want to spend some good time for a few days. Alongside trekking, jungle safari, rafting, city charm and natural sceneries, Bagmati province is equally a good tourist destination for religious tourism. Bagmati province is also popular for religious tourism. There are some major religious shrines in the province. Bhimeswar of Dolaka is one of the most popular religious destinations of the country. Based on the legends, any bad omens in the country are signaled by the statue of Bhimeswar. Kalinchok has increasingly become the first preference of tourists in recent time. With the operation of cable car in Kalinchok now, it has increased the attraction for tourists. There is a religious belief that wishes are fulfilled after visiting Kalinchok deity. Gosaikunda, located in Rashwa district, which shares border with Tibet over China, is a very important religious and tourist destination. Religious fairs are held twice a year in Gosaikunda during Dasara and Janai Purnima. This is a great destination for those who prefer trekking and are of spiritual nature. Devghat Dham, along the border of Chitwan and Tanho, is a well-established religious place among Hindus. Many followers reach this place on the day of Mange Sankranti. This is a popular religious destination among elderly people. There are immense possibilities of tourism in Bagmati province. There are no doubts on tourism aiding in prosperity of the province. However, it is imperative to promote domestic tourism alongside prioritizing foreign tourists. Bagmati province is ahead of other provinces in regards to tourism infrastructures. Most of the tourist destinations are linked by road networks, while there are airway services in many others to reach in a short period of time. Sound arrangements of hotels and homestays have been made for food and accommodation. Therefore, let us travel the country to keep the economy moving and achieve prosperity. "35 of us are in this bus that is transporting us to the aircraft from the waiting lounge of the Trivandrum International Airport's domestic terminal. All, of course, look busy, up to something. The bus starts to move, and within minutes we reach the aircraft at the taxi bay. We start boarding the aircraft one by one to the warm welcome of the air hostess. The aircraft looks fully boarded for the flight to Chandragarhi Airport of Jhapa. However, our final destination is the famous Pathivara temple in Taplejung district. After nearly an hour's flight, we land at Chandragarhi Airport, trying to breathe fresh air and adjust ourselves. Our camera crew takes the opportunity to capture some unique local artifacts seen at the airport. As we wait for our vehicle outside, we have time to see the local lifestyle. Soon our vehicle arrives and we set for our main destination, Pathivara of Taplejung. Within 15 minutes, we reach Charali, a major junction with Kakarvita towards the east, Ilam towards the north. We're trying to engage in the sights and sounds of the Tarai. We head north towards Ilam, a natural paradise known for its agro-producers. The sheer pleasure of traveling in this natural paradise, crossing through settlements and jungles along the hilly road, reaches its climax when we arrive at the famous tea garden of Kanyam. No wonder Kanyam, a tourist hub with a perfect blend of natural beauty and economic activities, attracts us like a magnet. But our destination is still far away. We have to reach Taplejung at any cost today. After another 1.5 hours, we arrive at district headquarters of Ilam. It's a weekend day, Saturday, and the main market area is quiet. The very short time we spent enjoying the beauty of Ilam Bazaar was not enough, but we had to move on. It was almost dusk when we reached the highest point along the Mechi Highway, Rake Bazaar, along the border of Ilam and Pastor districts. A beautiful small hamlet known for its local producers. Rake is pretty windy, maybe because of its height, and we all feel a bit cold. However, this does not stop us from enjoying the local specialities. Our team moves on knowing that if we do not reach Taplejung today itself, our entire itinerary will suffer. It's dark now, and we are still on the roads, still at some distance. We cross the Fidin Bazaar, district headquarters of Pastor, but cannot see it properly as it was already dark. However, how can one forget the beautiful Fidin Bazaar and its red soil? Our caravan moves on irrespective of the time, and we are determined to reach Taplejung today at any cost. It was 11 p.m. when we reached Phungling Bazaar, the district headquarters of Taplejung. Early in the morning, the next day, once again we start our journey to the revered shrine. We were aware that a regional fair was taking place in Taplejung. The bazaar area has been decorated like a bride. There seems to be a competition among the locals in every nooks and corners of the city to decorate their place as the best. A large fair is going on at the open field with numerous cultural pageantries. The whole area is scenic and lively. However, we left Phungling Bazaar early with a promise to enjoy the place when we return from Pathivara. After nearly an hour's ride along the gravelled road, we arrive at Kafle Pati. This is the last destination till which we can have a ride. Now all on foot till we reach Pathivara. We are exploring Kafle Pati and the beautiful hill of Manavara behind Pathivara in the early morning sunlight. That hill is called Manavara, meaning a filled mano, or an ancient device to weigh grains, for its sheer resemblance. It looks a difficult place to reach. Thankfully, we have no intention of going there either. A few travelers apart from our team are also with us. The uphill climb for about 5 hours is waiting for us now. Long winding steps of rock lead us to the temple. The uphill walk of the stairs takes more than half an hour to reach Baldana. It's a small hamlet and resting place for travelers. We meet a group of youths who are returning from the temple. These jolly youths with guitar seem to have enjoyed a very musical trip to the temple. We also enjoy their music for some time. One of the many ways to forget our fatigue. After the brief musical break, our journey moves on. We haven't seen snow till now, but meet plenty of devotees already returning from the temple. Either they had left for the temple pretty early in the morning, or they must have stayed at Tulufedi, which is near the temple itself. The symmetrical steps and the rhododendron trees awaiting spring. Away from the hustle and bustle and pollution of the town, Pathivara is a serene and virgin destination. We try to listen to the experience of some of the devotees despite our fatigue. In a short while, we reach Tulufedi, the last bazaar and major human settlement before we reach Pathivara temple. Many travelers lodge at this place that also has a few hotels. For the first time, we see light rain and a bit of snow at this altitude. This beautiful bazaar has its own beauty as well as sorrow. This is a small trade center and lodging place for travelers.
अब कोही झापा कोही काठमाडौँ कोही अब उता अमेरिका कोही त्यस्तै युकेहरू अब यतै नेपालको मान्छे नै हो आउने त
ए त्यसरी आउनुहुन्छ
हजुर
तपाईले टेन्ट पनि राख्नु भएको छ नि
टेन्ट राखेको
किन राख्नु भएको
टेन्ट अब रुम हाम्रो थोरै छ त्यही भएर टेन्ट राखेको हो टेन्टमा पनि यसो सितम भनेर
After a warm cup of tea in the cold weather, we resume our uphill walk to the temple. We see a huge copper gate made of all the copper utensils offered at the temple. Whoever are the lucky ones to have their offerings in the gate, it definitely welcomes the devotees first. A few meters away comes the temple of Kanchi Mata, or the youngest mother. Kanchi Mata is believed to be the youngest sister of Pativara deity. We stop for some time at the temple, heavily covered by snow. Probably the most adventurous journey in the whole trek begins from here in the snow-white jungle. The trees have bloomed in white snow. The path is covered by snow, and the travelers of all age group marching ahead with equal enthusiasm. Every traveler is carrying something to eat like roasted corn, grams, and ginger to minimize the risk of altitude sickness, as the uphill walk leads to higher elevation. Chances of losing foot grip in the snow are very high without a walking stick. Walking sticks are provided free of cost by the hotels, given that you promise to return them. The people here are very helpful. Despite the stony steps to climb, they are fully covered in snow. We continue our enjoyable journey forward, sometimes losing our foot grip and trying to forget our fatigue. It took us around 4 hours to reach the temple premises. The gate welcomes us a bit ahead. There are a few structures built here for those who want to make an overnight stop. Only the structures offer shelter, and the travelers have to manage the rest themselves. These hanging bells welcome as we enter the temple premises through the main gate. Inside the temple premises, one feels as if this is the capital of a pristine natural paradise. We start capturing the temple and its surroundings in our camera. It is Sunday, and maybe because of the snow factor as well, we do not see many people in the temple. Otherwise, even the security personnel deployed here struggle to manage the throng of devotees, especially on Saturdays. The idol of deity Pativara has been kept under the open sky due to the belief that it cannot be kept inside any structure. Divine, amazing, and attractive temple of deity Pativara. The legend of the deity is really impressive. Even small natural artifacts, otherwise not notable, create great impressions in our memory during trips like this. How can we be ignorant to the fact that health and fitness is of paramount importance during such trips? So we take some rest in a nearby place and start munching the roasted corn so as not to keep our stomachs empty. Hunger can easily lead to altitude sickness at such elevation. People offer copper utensils including oil-fed lamps, tridents, with the belief that their wishes would be fulfilled. We also noticed devotees offering prayers at the never-extinguished flame at the temple. There is huge cliff at the backside of the idol and big plain area towards the front side. The temples of other gods and goddesses in the premises look as if a divine army is guarding the deity. Popular belief is that paying homage at the temple fulfills all wishes, including children, peace, or prosperity. Sadly, we were deprived of the opportunity to enjoy the natural beauty of the surrounding due to inclement weather. However, we thoroughly enjoyed the snowfall. Every devotee seems happy and content for being able to pay homage here.
एकदमै राम्रो रहेछ तर बाटो चाहिँ अलि चिप्लो चिप्लो रहेछ हिउँ परेको कारणले तर राम्रै लाग्यो एकदम जोस रमाइलो रहेछ
यहाँ आउन चाहिँ मलाई धेरै वर्षदेखि मन थियो बट कहिले सोचेको थिएन कि म यहाँ आउन सक्छु आज आउने मौका पायो सारै खुसी लागेछ
अद्भुत अनुभव भएको छ मलाई र आज मैले यो लगभग 4-5 घण्टाको जो यात्रा हामी तलबाट गरेका छौं हुन त हिउँ पनि परिरहेछ हिउँ पर्या थियो हिउँ पर्या हुनाले अलिकति सम्लेर आयौं हामी तर अत्यन्त नै त्यस्तो केही छैन बाटोमा एउटा राम्रो तरिकाको एउटा अनुभव भएर हामी पुग्यौं माताको दर्शन भयो
It's really an ill attempt to travel to Pativara during winter as the whole area gets blanketed by snow. But only those who dare know the sheer pleasure. It cannot be expressed in words. Apart from the question that how the place would look without snow, nothing can be as pleasing as reaching there in winter. Just for reference, this is how it looks without snow.
Nepal's local government's intensified voter education drive nationwide, Election Commission deploys. Nepal's Prime Minister Karki reviews security preparedness for election, directs authorities to safeguard people's votes. Peak tourist season sees unusually low hotel occupancy in Nepal's Sauraha. Bookings fall below 50% amid election-related travel slowdown. North Korea unveils new nuclear-capable rocket launchers, where Workers' Party Congress sets policy goals in reviving economy. Trump's sweeping global tariffs struck down by U.S. Supreme Court, economy also slowed sharply in the final months of 2025. An anti-election postponed yet again, revised programs suspended pending further notice due to election code of conduct. Good evening, I am April Singh Lama and this is NTV World News Hour coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours. Now the news in details. Nepal's local governments have intensified facilitation and coordination efforts for voter education and related programs in preparation for the upcoming House of Representatives election. The Election Commission of Nepal has deployed one voter education volunteer in each of the 6,743 wards across 753 local levels nationwide till March 1st. The deployed volunteers have been reaching out to communities and households of voters, informing them about the importance of the election and the voting process through sample ballot papers. Although some local government structures were set on fire during the Gen Z movement, causing inconvenience in the use of buildings and infrastructure, local governments are still actively providing necessary support for the election. The Election Commission of Nepal introduced a rule requiring political parties and candidates to open separate bank accounts for election campaign expenses to ensure transparency and curb unregulated cash spending. Despite a deadline of February 15, only 7 out of 75 parties and 867 out of 3,406 candidates have complied so far. The Commission is monitoring compliance but acknowledges that punitive measures for non-compliance are not yet fully defined. The Commission has set a cap on campaign spending for candidates up to 3.3 million Nepali rupees, approximately $22,700, which limits adjusted based on geographical factors. We will bring more on this in our segment Issue of the Day later in the bulletin. Now, hotels in Sauraha, the main gateway to Chitwan National Park in Nepal's western district, are seeing a sharp drop in occupancy, falling below 50% compared to 80% last year. The decline in foreign tourist arrivals is cited as the main reason for reduced bookings, along with the upcoming elections. Months from February to April are usually the peak tourist season with ideal weather and clear wildlife views. Despite this, hoteliers remain hopeful that visitor numbers will recover after the election. We'll bring more on this in our segment cover story later in the bulletin. Now, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un opened a rare 5-yearly Congress of the ruling Workers' Party, pledging to improve living standards and set major policy goals in defense, diplomacy and the economy. The multi-day gathering directs state efforts from housing projects to military planning and will be closely watched for signals on nuclear weapons or engagement with Seoul and Washington. During the event, North Korea showcased new nuclear-capable rocket launchers in a high-profile parade, highlighting its commitment to advancing strategic deterrence. U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping global tariffs have been struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court in a major blow to the president's economic agenda. With a 6-3 majority, the Supreme Court rules Trump exceeded his authority when he imposed tariffs via a law reserved for national emergencies. Meanwhile, growth in the U.S. slowed at the end of last year as consumer spending slackened and the federal government shut down. It capped a turbulent year for the U.S. economy, which has been buffeted by new tariffs, a crackdown on immigration cuts to government spending and persistent inflation. The scheduled election of the All Nepal Football Association ANFA has been postponed again. ANFA's election committee issuing a notice today informed the election process has been suspended until further notice. Earlier, the Patan High Court had lifted an interim order clearing the way for the elections to proceed. ANFA had prepared to move forward following the court's decision. However, it decided to defer it after receiving a notice from the Election Commission of Nepal that stated the Election Code of Conduct is currently in effect. As a result, ANFA has announced that the election schedule, which was set to begin from today, has been deferred until further notice. With just 7 out of 75 parties and a fraction of candidates meeting the deadline, concerns are rising over compliance with the Election Commission of Nepal's new campaign bank account rule. Will spending caps and transparency measures hold, or will weak enforcement undermine the reform? Stay with us after the break. You're watching NTV World News Hour. Welcome back. Prime Minister Sushila Karki has acquired detailed information on election-related security arrangements across Gandaki province in view of the House of Representatives election scheduled for March 5. As part of her visit to the province, PM Karki also travelled to Mustang district, where she reviewed the district-level security situation and election preparations. Also, during a briefing held in Pokhara, the Prime Minister was apprised of the overall security preparedness in the province, including sensitive and geographically remote parts of the country. Karki was briefed on Friday by Principal Secretary of the province government, Dondu Raj Kimiri, who informed that a dedicated election cell has been formed in coordination with security agencies at the provincial level. The Prime Minister stressed the need for close coordination among security bodies and election officials to ensure that the polls are conducted in a free, fair, fear-free and credible manner throughout Gandaki province. Amid ongoing high-level reviews of election security and preparations across the provinces, the Election Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to conducting the upcoming House of Representatives election in a free, fair and peaceful atmosphere. Speaking at an interaction program jointly organized by the Election Commission Nepal and the Nepal Law Society in Biratnagar on Friday, officiating Chief Election Commissioner Ram Prasad Bhandari said the Commission was fully dedicated to ensuring credible and peaceful elections on March 5.
थलामै कारबाही गर्न सक्ने अधिकार सम्पन्न अधिकारीहरू यहाँहरुमै हुनुहुन्छ। यदि थलैमा यहाँहरुलाई कारबाही गर्न सम्भव भएन, आचार संहिता उल्लङ्घन गरेको टड्का र घटना देख्नुभयो र त्यो घटनालाई यहाँहरुले अनदेखा गरेर नबसिकन त्यसलाई कारबाहीको विषय बनाउनु भयो र स्थानीय स्तरमा यहाँहरुलाई कारबाही गर्न थोरै कठिन हो र निर्वाचनमय वातावरणमा अलिकति असर पर्छ कि भन्ने लाग्यो भने यहाँहरुले सर्लक्क निर्वाचन आयोगमा लेखेर पठाइदिनुस्। निर्वाचन आयोग चाहिँ त्यसलाई के गर्नुपर्छ र कसरी त्यो कारबाहीको विषय बन्छ भन्दैन तत्क्षणै निर्णय गरेर यहाँहरुलाई जानकारी गराउँछ।
The implementation plan formulated by the Nepal's Election Commission with the agreement of political parties to make the elections economical and transparent has not been effectively carried out. The Commission has mandated candidates to open a bank account to conduct election-related campaigns by February 15th. However, so far only about 1/4 of the candidates have opened bank accounts. Our colleague Diksha Wasti brings us the story.
The Election Commission says it is closely monitoring compliance of its directives to the political parties and candidates to carry out campaign financial transactions through bank accounts. Since the Commission's issued directives as per the Operation and Management Procedures 2082, only out of 75 political parties and 3,406 direct candidates, only 7 political parties and 867 candidates have opened the required bank accounts. The Commission at the same time acknowledges that since this is the first time the rule has been enforced, specific punitive measures for non-compliance are still not clear.
This campaign financing or mandatory single bank account for the political parties and candidates is really a new venture for Election Commission. And that's why we are requesting all the political parties and their candidates as well as the independent candidates to open separate account for the election campaigns.
Still, the Commission has the right to make law to punish the offenders. The mandatory provision for political parties and candidates to open a separate bank account for election expenses has been introduced for the first time in Nepal's electoral history. According to the Commission, the measure is intended to discourage unregulated cash spending and ensure accountability in campaign financing. Officials say banks now have branches in all 753 local levels, making compliance feasible nationwide. The Commission has also directed candidates to spend up to Rs 3.3 million, depending on geographical factors, with monitoring of the funds disbursed from the candidates' accounts to ensure financial discipline. As the election is just 13 days away and campaigns are at its peak, the Commission expects more parties and candidates will come under the financial ambit.
The Election Commission has urged candidates to open dedicated bank accounts to ensure transparency in the upcoming House of Representatives election. However, some candidates have yet to open election-focused bank accounts. In today's segment of our Public Pulse, we ask the people what they have to say about candidates who have not opened such accounts.
निर्वाचन आयोगले यो जुन नेम लिएर आएको छ यो चाहिँ एकदमै राम्रो हो। यो नेम सबैले मान्नुपर्छ। यो अब हाम्रो जुन यो खाता खोल्नुपर्छ भनेको छ यो नेम हैन, सबै नेम सरकारले बनाउँछन् र त्यो चाहिँ जनताहरूले मात्रै मान्नुपर्ने, नेताहरूले यो नेमको पालना गर्नुपर्छ र सबै हिसाब देखाउनुपर्छ।
भ्रष्टाचार नगर्नु भन्ने हामी सुझाव गर्न चाहन्छौँ। सरकारको नियम कानुनलाई मानेर हिँड्नुपर्ने हिसाब किताबमा जान्छ। यदि मान्दैनन् भने उलाई राम्रो उम्मेदवार भनिदैन।
जनताले चाहिँ पारदर्शी गर्नुपर्ने, उहाँहरूले चाहिँ गर्नु नहुने हैन, उहाँहरूले चाहिँ खाता नखोल्ने, अब सबैजना सचेत चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो हैन, राम्रो नेताहरू चाहिँ छान्नु पर्यो।
सरकारले भनेको नमान्ने उम्मेदवारलाई चाहिँ अब आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत खाता खोल्नुस्, खाता खोलेर खर्च गर्नुस् भनेको छ भने नियमै पालना नगर्ने उम्मेदवार के गर्ने? होइन, यस्ता उम्मेदवारहरूलाई सरकारको नियम पालनै नगर्ने उम्मेदवारलाई उम्मेदवार भनेर कसरी मान्ने?
बैंकिङ कारोबार गर्नु, डिजिटल कारोबार भनेकै इमानदारिता हो, पारदर्शिता हो र कानुनी सुरक्षा पनि हो। भोलि उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ निर्वाचन आयोगले चाहिँ खर्च सार्वजनिक गर्नुस् भन्दाखेरि उहाँहरू पनि आफू सुरक्षित हुने, उहाँहरूको चाहिँ अडिट हुने कुराहरू, डिजिटल अभिलेख चाहिँ महत्त्वपूर्ण हुन्छ। त्यसैले यसले चाहिँ भ्रष्टाचार नियन्त्रण हुने कुरा, कालो धनको बजारीकरण हुने कुरा, अनाधिकृत पैसा चाहिँ बाँड्ने कुराहरूलाई पनि रोक्छ।
सबै उम्मेदवारले खाता खोल्नु, यो भ्रष्टाचारलाई पनि नियन्त्रण गर्ने हो यसको काम र निर्वाचन आयोगले गरेको काम एकदम राम्रो हो र सबै उम्मेदवारले खाता खोल्न जरुरी छ।
उम्मेदवारहरूले बैंक खाता खोलेर हिसाब किताब राख्दाखेरि पारदर्शिता हुन्छ अनि हिसाब किताब गर्न पनि सजिलो हुन्छ। त्यसैले यो अनिवार्य छ, खोल्नुपर्छ।
हिसाब किताब राख्नलाई सजिलो हुन्छ, आर्थिक पारदर्शिता हुन्छ, भ्रष्टाचार नियन्त्रण गर्न सजिलो हुन्छ। हामी सबैले एउटा निर्वाचन आयोगले राखेको एउटा नियमलाई पालन गरेर खाता खोल्यौँ भने भोलि यो अरू जनमानसमा पनि यसको शिक्षा पुग्छ।
As the March 5 election draws closer, campaign rallies and promises are intensifying across the country. Yet in central eastern Nepal's district of Dolakha, amid the noise and slogans, frustration simmers. Members of the Dalit community say they see no genuine advocate for their rights in the current race. Despite being a significant population group, they feel sidelined from decision-making and unheard in policy priorities. Sarah Sapsanama Rai and local correspondent Mandira Thapa with this report.
In political circles of Dolakha district, located in the high hills of Bagmati province, the issue of representation is always on the script, but the story on the ground remains unchanged. Despite a population of over 14,700, the Dalit community feels systematically sidelined. The common grievance, while the broader leadership climbs the ladder, the community is viewed simply as a vote bank.
जुन माथिल्लो तलामा पनि यहाँ अहिले आएर यहाँनेर हामी सबै थोक गर्छौं भन्छन् अब आखिरी उनीहरु भोट हालेर जितेर गइसकेपछि यहाँनेर गाउँ फर्किने काम पनि गर्दैनन् दलितहरुलाई हेर्ने काम पनि गर्दैनन् त्यो कारणले चाहिँ हामीलाई चाहिँ त्यो नेता के होस् कि दलितलाई भोट माग्न मात्रै आउने हैन भोट हालेर पछि जितिसकेपछि नि यहाँ आएर समस्याको समाधान गर्छु भन्ने खालका नेताहरुलाई चाहिँ
This treatment is not due to lack of presence, though. There are Dalit families in all 73 wards of the district. Yet, the path to parliamentary leadership remains largely out of reach. Community members point to a frustrating cycle, a lack of widespread awareness combined with parties silencing the most vocal figures with small favors or temporary rules. This leaves the wider community in the shadows, prioritized only when it is time to head to the elections. For this March 5 election, the District Election Office has registered 33 candidates, including 19 independents. However, only 2 of these candidates come from Dalit community. Local advocates are now pushing for a change in the narrative. They argue that the days of being easily swayed by election day promises must end. The message that they are sending to the parties is clear. They are no longer interested in just filling out ballots. They are ready to lead.
Hotel occupancy in Sauraha has dropped below 50%, down from 80% last year, as foreign tourist arrivals dip and elections loom. Hoteliers stay hopeful for a rebound after the vote. More after this break. You're watching NTV World News Hour. Time for a cover story. Hotels in Nepal's tourist city of Sauraha, which typically operate at near full capacity during this time of year, are facing a sharp decline in occupancy, with operators reporting significantly lower bookings compared to previous seasons. February, March and April mark the peak tourist season in Sauraha, the main gateway to Chitwan National Park. According to the Regional Hotel Association Chitwan, around 80% of hotel rooms were occupied during this period last year. This year, however, bookings have fallen to below 50%. The season is generally considered ideal for tourism, as grasslands inside the national park are cleared, allowing better visibility of wildlife. The weather during these months is also regarded as pleasant, being neither too hot nor too cold, making it attractive for both domestic and international visitors. However, hotel operators say the decline in foreign tourist arrivals has directly affected business. They attribute the slowdown partly to the upcoming House of Representatives election, which they say has discouraged both foreign and domestic travelers from making immediate travel plans. Despite the downturn, hoteliers remain optimistic that visitor numbers will rebound after the election. Sauraha has 148 hotels with the capacity to accommodate up to 7,200 guests at a time. Now in other news, Nepal's National Assembly Chair Narayan Prasad Dahal inspected the under-construction Federal Parliament building at Singhdarbar today. In course of the inspection, he responded that the recent progress in work has been encouraging as the upcoming session of the Federal Parliament is supposed to be held from this building.
यहाँ हल्कै समस्या पहिलो टर्काएर भएर अलि हल भनेर सदन चलाउनुको लागि त सम्पूर्ण अभिभावक चाहियो नि त त्यो तत्कालै दिनु देखिँदैन.
The works are underway with a commitment to hand over at least the House of Representatives section, the Central Lobby and the canteen block by coming March 15. A total of 6,622 students were awarded degrees at the 21st convocation of Pokhara University, held at its central office in the western Nepali city of Pokhara. The Vice-Chancellor and Prime Minister Sushila Karki formally awarded the degrees to the students. According to the university, 3,625 students from the Faculty of Management, 2,506 from Science and Technology, 365 from Health Sciences and 126 from Humanities and Social Sciences were conferred degrees during the ceremony. On the occasion, Prime Minister Karki also honoured outstanding students in various fields with medals. Additionally, 664 students demonstrating exceptional academic performance were recognised with the Dean's List distinction. Chandani Joshi, who has over 6 decades of national and international experience, attended the convocation as the chief guest. Established in 1997, Pokhara University currently operates 74 academic programs across 66 affiliated colleges nationwide. Nepal police today arrested 3 Indian nationals from the arrival tunnel gate of the Tribhuvan International Airport with 11.27 kilograms of illegal cannabis. According to Abhinarayan Kafle, Deputy Inspector General, DIG and spokesperson of Nepal Police, the arrestees have been identified as 43-year-old Samina Akhtar Beg Mirza, 24-year-old Muhammad Junaid and Afsana Amir Hussain Sheikh. A joint team of police from the TIA Security Office and Narcotics Control Bureau apprehended Muhammad Junaid and Samina Akhtar Beg Mirza with approximately 3.87 kilograms of narcotic substance. Likewise, police nabbed Afsana in possession of 7.4 kilogram of the illegal substance. He also added that the arrested ones have been handed over to the Narcotics Control Bureau for further investigation and legal action. So we have updates from the international updates on the other side, but before that, let's have a recap of the headlines. Nepal's local government's intensified voter education drive nationwide. Election Commission deploys volunteers in every ward ahead of March 5 polls. Nepal's Prime Minister Karki reviews security preparedness for election, directs authorities to safeguard people's votes. Peak tourist season sees unusually low hotel occupancy in Nepal's Sauraha. Bookings fall below 50% amid election-related travel. North Korea unveils new nuclear-capable rocket launches, where Workers' Party Congress sets policy goals in reviving economy. Trump's sweeping global tariffs struck down by U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. economy also slows sharply in the final months of 2025. An anti-election postponed yet again, revised program suspended pending further notice due to election code of conduct. U.S. President Donald Trump urges Iran to strike a meaningful deal as a huge American military buildup takes shape in the Middle East amid U.S. threats of action against its adversary. Trump tells the inaugural meeting of the Board of Peace has initiative to secure stability in Gaza.
As you know, Iran is a hot spot right now, and they're meeting, and they have a good relationship with the representatives of Iran, and, you know, good talks are being had. It's proven to be, over the years, not easy to make a meaningful deal with Iran. We have to make a meaningful deal. Otherwise, bad things happen. But we have to make a meaningful deal. But they have a great relationship with the representatives of Iran. They have a great relationship with the other one that they're really working on now.
Now, in other news, Poland's Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz convened a high-level security and defense meeting in Krakow, southern Poland, bringing together his counterparts from France, Italy, Germany and the United Kingdom. The gathering also included the European Union's top foreign policy official, Kaja Kallas, as well as NATO Deputy Secretary General Radmila Sekerinska, reflecting a coordinated effort between EU and NATO leaders to address pressing security challenges in Europe. During the meeting, the ministers and officials are expected to discuss key issues, including the reinforcement of NATO's eastern flank, joint military readiness, regional defense cooperation and the ongoing support for Ukraine amid the conflict with Russia. Poland's strategic location on NATO's eastern border has made it a critical hub for logistical coordination, troop deployments and security planning, underscoring the significance of the talks. Officials are also likely to explore long-term strategies to strengthen Europe's defense capabilities, enhance its allied forces and ensure rapid response capacity in case of emerging security threats. UN Chief Antonio Guterres calls for less hype, less fear over artificial intelligence, as he says that a new expert panel aimed to make human control a technical reality. Guterres said the United Nations General Assembly had confirmed 40 members for the group called the Independent International Scientific Panel on Artificial Intelligence.
The message is simple: less hype, less fear, more facts and evidence.
Thousands of Muslim worshippers gathered at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound into Jerusalem to perform the first Friday prayers of Ramadan, marking the start of the holy month of fasting and reflection. Security was heightened across the old city as authorities managed large crowds amid ongoing tensions in the city over access to religious sites. The annual event draws worshippers from across the region, underscoring the significance of Al-Aqsa as one of Islam's holiest sites. Religious leaders called for peace and unity during the prayers, while local authorities urged attendees to follow security guidelines to prevent overcrowding and maintain order. Chinese astronauts could be set to enjoy an upgraded diet in the future as the crew members of the Shenzhou 21 mission get ready to reap a bountiful harvest of freshly grown tomatoes from their very own in-orbit vegetable garden aboard Tiangong Space Station. Amid the ongoing Spring Festival holiday, which sees millions of Chinese gather for family reunions and enjoy grand festive dinners to welcome the Chinese New Year back on Earth, astronauts in space may soon be able to tuck into some tasty foods of their own as their prized tomatoes enter their ripe season. The cultivation device had been carried to the space station by the Tianzhou 9 cargo craft in July last year. So far, 10 batches of 7 plant species, including lettuce, cherry tomatoes and sweet potatoes, have been cultivated at the space station, providing astronauts with more fresh fruits and vegetables and the chance for a much more balanced nutrition intake during their 6-month-long mission. Now, a 6-month-old Japanese macaque abandoned by his mother has captured public attention at Ishiwaka City Zoo near Tokyo as he clings to and drags a stuffed toy around his enclosure. The baby monkey named Punch by the zookeepers has become a focus of fascination both online and among visitors who come to observe his unusual behavior in person. Zookeepers say Punch has formed an attachment to the stuffed toy, which he carries everywhere, using it for comfort and companionship in the absence of his mother. Visitors to the zoo have been captivated by his interactions with the toy, often taking photos and sharing videos on social media, where Punch's story has gone viral, drawing comments from people both in Japan and abroad. The zoo has said it will continue monitoring his development and is taking steps to ensure he receives adequate care, socialization and interaction with other monkeys as he grows. Time for business updates after this short break.
Sweden has announced its 21st military aid package for Ukraine, valued at 12.9 billion kronor or $1.4 billion, which focuses primarily on air defense. Defense Minister Paul Johnson noted that this contribution aims to meet Ukraine's specific needs for ammunition and platform maintenance. A significant 4.3 billion kronor is dedicated to providing advanced short-range air defense. The remaining funds will cover long-range artillery shells, training, and a collaborative drone project, with delivery of the Tridon Mk2 mobile anti-aircraft artillery system expected within 24 months. This package is part of a larger 40 billion kronor annual budget, with more announcements planned for later this year. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi addressed market anxieties on Friday, insisting her economic policies are not reckless as investors worry about her plans to boost growth and provide inflation relief. To drive the economy, she pledged investments in risk management sectors like energy, health, infrastructure, and cybersecurity, alongside high-growth areas such as AI, chips, and shipbuilding. Takaichi also emphasized a green transformation, committing to the maximum use of decarbonized power to address climate change in the world's fifth largest CO2 emitting country. Domestically, she reiterated a campaign promise to consider a 2-year suspension of the consumption tax on food to assist households cope with inflation. This has exacerbated concerns regarding Japan's massive debts, recently driving long-dated government bond yields to record highs. Colombia's President Gustavo Petro signed a historic decree increasing the country's 2026 minimum wage during a rally on Bolivar Square, Bogota. Petro called for marches in support of his government to back the vital minimum wage decree, which was provisionally suspended by the Council of State. He announced late December 2025 the country's minimum wage would increase by 23.7% starting in the new year, its highest raise in 25 years. The increase, coupled with the government's transportation subsidy, takes the monthly minimum wage from 1.6 million pesos or $422 to 2 million pesos or $520. India officially joined Pax Silica on Friday, which is a US-led initiative designed to secure global supply chains for semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and critical technologies. This strategic move signals a significant warming of ties between New Delhi and Washington following recent friction over India's purchase of Russian oil. To facilitate this alignment, President Trump recently lowered reciprocal tariffs on Indian imports and removed levies previously imposed over energy trade. The Pax Silica framework, which includes allies like Japan, South Korea, and the UK, aims to reduce global dependence on China-dominated manufacturing by building trusted production networks among democracies. US Ambassador Sergio Gore emphasized that India's entry is essential and strategic. The agreement was finalized during an AI summit in New Delhi.
Time now for sports update. Nepal's Armed Police Force, APF Club and Tribhuvan Army Club have taken lead in the two matches of the J Trophy two-day cricket that kicked off today. In the match at Mulpani Cricket Ground, Bagmati Province is trailing by 31 runs in its second innings against APF that made 239 runs in the first inning. Winning the toss, APF opted to field first as Bagmati declared its first innings at 207 runs for the loss of 9 wickets after having played 54.5 overs. APF in its first inning made 239 runs, taking 32 runs first inning lead. With 4 overs of play left on the first day, Bagmati lost 1 wicket in 3.2 overs, meaning it will start the second day trailing by 31 runs and 9 wickets in hand. In the other match at TU Cricket Ground, Nepal Police Club is trailing by 24 runs in its second innings against Tribhuvan Army Club that declared the first inning at 234 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. World Football's governing body, FIFA, and the Board of Peace have signed a partnership agreement to attract investment from global leaders and institutions for sustainable development in conflict-affected regions through football. The Board of Peace, established under United States President Donald Trump, held its first meeting focused on Gaza's reconstruction fund aimed at rebuilding the territory once Hamas disarms. The FIFA collaboration plan includes building 50 mini pitches near schools and residential areas in Gaza, 5 full-size pitches across multiple districts, a state-of-the-art FIFA academy, and a new 20,000-seat national stadium, FIFA said. Trump said FIFA will raise $75 million for football-related projects in Gaza. Now to the weather updates, first from Nepal and then around the world. And this brings us to the end of this edition of NTV News Hour. But before we wrap up, let's have a look into the headlines once again. Nepal's local government's intensified voter education drive nationwide. Election Commission deploys volunteers in every ward ahead of March 5 polls. Nepal's Prime Minister Karki reviews security preparedness for election, directs authorities to safeguard people's votes. Peak tourist season sees unusually low hotel occupancy in Nepal's Sauraha. Bookings fall below 50% amid election-related travel slowdown. North Korea unveils new nuclear-capable rocket launches. Rare Workers' Party Congress sets policy goals in reviving economy. Trump's sweeping global tariffs struck down by U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. economies also slowed sharply in final months of 2025. And ANFA election postponed yet again. Revised program suspended, pending further notice due to election code of conduct. That is all for the moment. Do join us through our social media and visit us at www.nepaltelevision.com for more information and news. I am April Singh Lama. Thank you for watching. Good night.